A.D. Machiavelli production. Yo, we kicking off live with the facts on the table. 3 hours deep on the lies they enable. Bills packed with pork, votes bought in the dark. Congress playing games while the people get sparked. Mainstream media metric mangling, rhetoric tangling, packing the narrative lacquered in lies with the glossy allure. We wheel through the static surgical with the syllables sinking the signal, slicing the noise and delivering sharper, richer. Truth no longer obscure. Bullpens up, we locked and loaded. Independent voices truthfully decoded. No corporate spin, no filter deception. Round one starting, real talk in session. The bullpen. The bullpen. Hey, power broker scheming when the spotlight fades. Lobbyists crafting laws in the backroom shades. Corporate media feeding the same tired script. We expose the grift and the lies they permit. Independent media rising against the machine, bringing clarity where the propaganda's been seen. Hold up, pause the feed, let the real ones speak. No gatekeepers here, no agenda to tweak. Algorithms trying to bury the dissenting view, but the bullpen squad got the mic and we coming through. No sacred cows, we roast them all the same. Truth over clicks, that's the name of the game. Whispers turning into mandates, loud big tech shadow banning while they hide in the cloud. Inflation taxing pockets that they swore they protect, while elites throw champagne on another private jet. We connect the dots that the cable news skips, call out the flip-flops and the policy slips. No left, no right, just facts in the fight. Every episode I might check under the lights. It's time to lock it, from city blocks to red dirt lanes. Welcome to the bullpen.
And that's why everybody. Fauci is a good guy.
Right.
And deserves to go to prison.
He is the science.
No, that's how people know I'm kidding when we come in from the intro.
Welcome to Sunday night and the bullpen. We got a lot of topics tonight. We got the Fauci hearing. We've got a whole bunch of stuff on the Democratic Socialists of America. We've got the crazy right woke New America First group. We've got Mom Donnie doxing his own supporters. We've got WNBA as a whole bunch of morons that wouldn't even be in existence if they played by the rules that they're saying exist. Dana Bash had a interesting interview with RFK today. And then we've got some stuff about Tommy Robinson over at Oxford University. And of course, we'll probably talk about the In-N-Out possible massacre that got stopped. So that's what's on the subject list for tonight, because YouTube keeps telling me I need to do a quick run through and let people know what's coming. So we're doing it.
All right. Well, there you go.
How are you guys tonight?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. Yeah.
Doing all right. I appreciate the topics because I was arguing with some other friends of mine during Fauci hearing day, because they were like, he's going to jail. You're not allowed to plead the fifth. And I'm like, he's not going to jail.
He's already been.
He is allowed to plead the fifth.
He is allowed to.
He can be held in contempt.
Well, okay. Here's the problem with that's been pointed out, is the fact that he has been pardoned, and therefore those protections don't apply to him.
But it does apply. Here's why. The Fifth Amendment keeps you from incriminating yourself. You have the absolute right to use it.
Yeah.
You are being put in a situation where you're being put under oath. It is a perjury trap. So therefore,
yeah, fair.
testifying could create new crime. That's what they were trying to do.
Okay.
He's been pardoned for
All right.
everything else, but he's not pardoned for future crimes.
Or you could
Got
just
it.
tell the truth and not have
Well,
to perjure yourself.
He's not going to do that because that would be admitting everything we already have the evidence of.
But he's got a pardon.
But it doesn't matter. So what they would
An
need to
auto
do,
pen pardon, but a pardon.
so this, if they wanted to make him testify and bypass the Fifth Amendment, they would have to give him immunity from prosecution based on his testimony. This was the Oliver North scenario. Remember way back when for Iran-Contra, they gave him immunity to testify at that congressional hearing, and then they tried to prosecute him for what he admitted he did. And because he had been given immunity by the congressional committee, they had to overturn all that. So he is legally, this is where I want to correct people. He does legally have the right to plead the Fifth Amendment because he is avoiding new criminal exposure. And the Fifth Amendment is
okay,
designed
fair enough.
to do that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
We were kind of hoping for more criminal exposure.
Yeah, I know. Well, what they need to do is fucking just put him on trial, right? I mean, they have the diary, and they know
It's
what.
just going to do the same thing. He had a
But
hearing, and
it
all he
would get
did
it-
was invoke
yeah.
the Fifth, even when asked questions
Well,
about, like, what color is the carpet in here?
Well, no, I think an actual criminal trial, not an actual hearing, Senate hearing.
That would
Which is
be
what-
immediately dismissed because he got
He's
a
got
pardon.
a pardon.
Hmm.
And he still wouldn't have to talk in that trial
Got it.
because the Fifth still applies there.
Because I thought never mind. I guess not.
What we can do is crucify him in the court of public opinion because we've got
He should be.
those stupid diary entries, which it's not a real diary. It's basically his.
You see
thoughts
Brian
that he kept on-
Cranston, and basically there's a picture of Fauci that says hero. It's like, why don't you just post a picture of Mangle at that point? Fuck
So
off.
this is the scenario where he has the pardon is a federal pardon.
Right.
He could be brought up on individual state charges. If a red state had the balls, they could bring him up on state level charges
Shit.
for whatever.
If
he did.
another country had the balls, he was the one basically advising the world on the rules, not just the U.S., even though he was a U.S. official. But then you'd have to have the balls to extradite him. I'd be more interested in another country just putting him on trial, even if he doesn't show up to the trial.
Mhm.
Bring out everything against him. He is one of the most evil men in the history of the world.
You think El Salvador would charge him? Because we've got a good buddy down there.
Yeah, or maybe Malay in Argentina. Don't hear a lot about Javier lately.
Now, the better thing to do is, and this would be a tough scenario, is to sue him individually and get them to waive qualified immunity based on the evidence that has come out. Because he would claim that he has qualified immunity as a federal government employee and therefore can't be sued. But because of the diary and all this other evidence we have, you could pierce that and say he knowingly did things that were against people's civil rights or whatever. And there could be a class action lawsuit against him. Now you could get money. It's a civil action. There's no criminal penalties. But remember, this is like OJ. Remember the criminal case? He got not guilty, so the Goldmans went after him civilly. So they would have to overturn that qualified immunity he gets as a federal government official. But I could see a legal theory to get that done.
Well, one thing I'm kind of curious about with all that grant money he was getting allegedly, all that money or prize money as they called it, that's nothing they can get him on either. He's basically been immune, or
It's a full pardon for anything that's happened over like a 40-year stretch.
I fucking hate that shit. I mean,
Well,
the pardon is a good thing, right? When it comes to individual things that they're being brought up on,
A specific charge.
A specific
instead
charge.
Of a sweeping pardon of
just a
anything you might have
blanket
done.
thing. Yeah. Because he could have literally gone out and murdered somebody. He's like, oh, he's got a presidential pardon. He's fine. It's like, that's bullshit.
The problem is the country accepted blanket pardons under Carter. When he pardoned all the draft dodgers, it is what it, that was
Well,
accepted as legal. And that set a
technically, weren't all
precedent.
the Confederates pardoned?
They had to apply individually.
Did they?
You had to. There was actually entire congressional committees that where you had to apply as a former Confederate, take the oath of loyalty to the United States, and have it officially accepted and be pardoned
Wow,
before you
Congress
were done.
actually did something at some point.
Yep.
Well,
Amazing.
let's go through this video real quick and make fun of it because there's not much to talk about on the Fauci hearing itself because he didn't say anything really.
No, he
He
just
did get
pled the
his
fifth.
lawyer kicked out, or his lawyer got himself kicked out. So this is what's his name, Harvey Levin from TMZ,
Yeah.
talking about just how
Isn't he like in his 70s?
He's also a lawyer.
Okay.
Like, he looks pretty good if he's in his 70s.
I don't know how old he is.
Yeah, somebody mentioned I saw this on Twitter that's saying that he's like in his 70s.
What I do know is that he and his team were all laughing and joking on the day that Charlie got killed, and they were getting information about that. But this was a travesty.
Oh, they were watching the video completely unrelated, Brahma. Didn't you hear?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't hear anything coming through.
To vent
There
personal
we go.
feelings. I have not used TMZ's YouTube channel to vent personal feelings about issues, but I'm going to do that today. Watching Anthony Fauci before a congressional hearing taking the Fifth Amendment is just one of the most heartbreaking things I have seen in government in my lifetime. And this
Ridiculous.
is something we need to reckon with. That I'm going to say up front, I have problems the way the CDC handled COVID. I think that they did damage to children, to adults, and
So he's the head of TMZ, right?
Yeah. So
Yep.
according to Moan, he says he's 75.
Because if
pretty
any of
fucking good.
us made a statement like this and had our company logo on the screen,
Mhm.
we'd all be fired immediately.
Oh, yeah.
But that tells you how comfortable TMZ is that everybody working for them must be lefties because he's willing to do this and not worry about what his employees might do.
Repercussions. Yeah.
I don't.
If
think
I
they did
remember,
it
he got his
maliciously. I
start
think they.
doing People's Court.
Oh, yeah.
He was like the outside reporter from the courthouse when the people came out. And I think he may have actually had a hand in developing it since he was a lawyer.
Adults, and I don't think they did it maliciously. I think they did it because they were using their judgment and
Okay,
were
pause it.
overprotective.
Okay, all right. This is completely dismissing the reason why Fauci is pleading the fifth and wants to go with it came from a wet market is because his fingerprints are all over the fact that it came from that lab, right? And he was the one who was funding it. That's the thing that pisses me off the most. It's like how can you basically go to bat for this dude who basically caused the pandemic? Okay. He literally caused the pandemic. He funded it. And I'm pretty sure if you were to actually dig into it, if the government was to actually do any real due diligence and show the fact that, yes, he had connections to this. Yeah. I mean, how do you fucking defend that? You know?
Well,
How-
and
how
the
do you
diary
fucking defend it?
entries.
Yeah.
Some of those entries were him talking to other scientists going, yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
So out of the 8 scientists that they were talking to,
He
6 of
basically
them-
said that
6
the
of them
benefits
said,
of
yeah,
doing
it
the
came from the lab.
gamification was he said a pandemic was worth the risk of gamification.
right.
I mean, that is literally in his diary in so many words. And you're like, oh, yeah, but prosecuting or interrogating Anthony Fauci is a bad thing. It's like, dude, you fucking caused this shit.
So Anthony Fauci was actually semi-famous before COVID
Yeah, because of the
For
AIDS
AIDS.
shit.
because he fucked over people so hard during the HIV. Like, he was a villain. Like, if you go back and watch like documentaries about the early handling of HIV.
Well, and the fact that the
He
left
screwed up so much that he was responsible probably for
They're ignoring
hundreds of thousands of deaths during HIV because he wouldn't be honest about how it was transmitted. They wouldn't shut down.
Yeah, he was the one saying, like, you could catch it in the air through, you know, when you're eating cereal in your house.
Yeah, and then they fought against shutting down gay bathhouses and other things because they thought that would look bad. It was like, he was like, they take...
This is like the monkeypox bullshit.
Yeah, they kick kids out of elementary schools when they have absolutely statistically no risk of negative impact from COVID. But they allow massively irresponsible behavior on the part of the number one infection vector.
Yeah.
And he was definitely, and then he screwed, and then because he wanted a piece of the testing and the diagnosis, like Fauci has if you look at the deals, he has a piece of all the vaccine research and all the money getting made. Like that was written into his deal with the NIH. That everything that got developed, he got a share royalty-wise of all these things.
And also, they're trying to use a loophole because gain-of-function research is illegal.
Yeah.
The loophole that they use is, oh, well, it got approved so that you can try to come up with ways to fight viruses. So you're allowed to do gain-of-function so that you can then try to find a cure for the gain-of-function that wouldn't be happening if nobody was doing gain of function.
Yeah.
The other loophole was he was funding it in foreign countries so he could get around liability here.
Yeah.
And likely through NGOs.
Well, he was probably told he couldn't. As a matter of fact, I think that's what it was. He was told he couldn't do it here, which is why he started funding in China.
Well, yeah. And probably Ukraine.
Yep. And probably Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm not saying Putin was right. But I'm kidding. I mean, he had a lot of ulterior motives, but it turns out there were like 19 super high risk biolabs right on his border in Ukraine, building God knows what.
Yep. All right.
And I think at times overstated things they said they knew but really didn't. And I have personal problems with the way that COVID was handled. That said, Anthony Fauci, over a period of decades, has been an amazing public servant.
Yeah, just ask all those gay people he let die.
I had many friends who died of AIDS, a horrible, painful
I believe he did have a whole bunch of friends.
And I had friends who lived because of Anthony Fauci, because he was willing to look at experimental drugs in a different way than they had looked at them before.
Okay, pause it. Under COVID, he literally blocked people from investigating the origins of COVID.
And any other treatment other than remdesivir.
And that was the other thing, too. And he also blocked the research of any other treatment. So fuck off, dude. The government
was literally the back channels. We were all getting shut down during the Biden portion of it, at the very least, because we know about the Twitter files.
Well, we were getting shut down during Trump's administration, too.
Yeah, because there was plenty of bureaucracy still in there, the swamp.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's we found out because of the Twitter files, right? But this shit's been going on for years. Within, I'm trying to remember. It's like my channel got struck twice for medical misinformation, and they were striking channels just saying COVID.
Reporting CDC stats is what we got struck for on your channel one night.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't there. Shags was there in my place because I was driving back from Vegas with COVID.
Yeah.
Because somebody came.
Well, yeah, you were driving with COVID. You weren't driving of COVID.
Yeah.
Somebody came to the meetup as a super spreader. Won't name her.
Was it a Canadian?
Yes.
Canadian who likes to drink a lot of wine?
Yeah.
Yes.
But the other thing too is that,
are you saying a certain person was living up to a stereotype of it originating with an Asian origin?
Maybe.
She
Um,
did
but the-
wipe out the meetup.
Brahma had a virus of unspecified Asian origin.
yeah.
Right.
The other thing too is that during that time period, they were trying to classify everything as COVID, and my cousin and her husband was in an accident, and they were wanting to list that COVID was involved because they were getting funding.
You got
there's
100 to 120% of funding if it was COVID
Yeah.
versus the markdown you usually got.
The other thing too is
Which is why the
talks
flu
actually showed
disappeared.
us medical stats where the flu fucking disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
What
2 years.
happened?
No flu.
Did we get a cure for the flu that year? Or did they all get lumped in as COVID cases?
I've shared this before, but
It's a mystery.
I was working in healthcare management at the time, and I knew somebody who ran a hospice in Northern Virginia,
Mm.
and they had a period of 6 months where no one died of anything but COVID, including people who were transferred
Cancer.
to the hospice for cancer. But they always died with COVID, no matter what the other thing was. Because
So it was like an extra $15,000 payment from
Yep.
the government if
Because-
it was with COVID.
in addition to the 100% of your fees, you got an extra payment for like a death benefit to the medical facility when they died with COVID.
Fucking ridiculous.
There was a story, where a guy died in a motorcycle accident on the highway
With COVID.
and he had COVID at the time, but he was run over by a fucking 18-wheeler, and they still classified it as a COVID.
COVID death.
I'm
Retarded.
sure there were people who were taking their own lives that were then classified as with COVID.
Yeah. COVID related self deletion.
I mean, it's not that much different than the fraud that they've been doing through Medicare and Medicaid that has been being uncovered right now.
Yeah.
We
If the
had
government's
so many
going to offer you extra money, you're just going to take it whatever way you can, whether or not it actually the thing that they're looking for actually exists.
the people doing the medical billing for the hospitals all went to Leering centers.
Yeah.
No, it's,
Shocked.
It's crazy. It is I don't know. It's I know that also, if you want to take a continued indictment of Fauci and the medical establishment, putting people on ventilators the way they did way more damage because of the way COVID operated, and they knew that within 2-3 weeks
I had a buddy in
of
perfect
treating
health.
people.
Perfect health. He was like 5 years older than me. So at that time, he would have been 45, 46. Gets COVID. They stick him on the ventilator. Dead within weeks. Every story I have heard about somebody who got put on the ventilators, they didn't come back off of them. And the remdesivir
again.
treatment was just as bad.
And here's where again, working in healthcare management, I had doctors who were telling me like they knew within weeks that putting people on ventilators was the absolute, how did doctors say it, not optimum treatment. Like, because they don't want to actually, because they're so afraid of malpractice, they'll never say, well, you shouldn't do that, because they don't want to get their buddies in trouble. But because the public and the CDC were pushing it so hard, especially in New York, where they were just eating it up, I can tell you down here in Virginia, they immediately started backing off of it because they were like, we've got data. We've got the data now. This is absolutely terrible treatment. And in New York, they kept doing it. I think New York wanted to thin the herd of their elderly population.
Sounds like it.
Well, Cuomo definitely did. Because he's sending them into the nursing homes. You got COVID? Go on back into the nursing home. They'll take care of you. And that's why Cuomo ended up having to step down. It wasn't really the sexual assault cases. But, yeah. Those were weird times. Especially
No
when you
kidding.
had a functional brain like we all did. Because we were all around, shortly thereafter maybe. But you're BLM, you've got riots going on all over the place about George Floyd. And that is not a super spreader event. But if you went outside and went to the beach, you're getting arrested or ticketed.
I've said before, that's when I turned on.
And Fauci's 6-foot rule was made up.
Yeah,
Go
that
ahead.
was completely.
Sorry.
Yep,
I
that was
gonna
all
say,
bullshit.
COVID was when I realized that, and this is not to say there aren't good cops, because this becomes a pointed heat of contention on a lot of the shows I'm on with certain people who were previous law enforcement. I lost pretty much respect for all average officers when you see people going up to children on playgrounds by themselves on a seesaw or a swing set and like threatening to arrest them and their mother for being in an open air environment playing in a playground, or like Brahma said, being on a beach where they were 50 to 100 feet from the nearest person in
Remember
an
when they
open air.
buried skate parks in sand? Like they brought out actual equipment and brought in sand and were burying the skate parks. When it turns out sunlight was one of the best things that you could possibly do, be out in the open air.
Well, sunlight is undefeated against viruses for killing them. UV will kill all of it. It's known. It's been a known medical
vitamin D.
science item thing for years.
Vitamin D was also beneficial in getting over COVID.
But like I said, like the average rank and file police officer in the United States will follow the orders they're given. They will kneel down for George Floyd protesters. They will go arrest a mom and their kids at a park, and they will follow the orders. We think it's crazy over in England when they go to arrest people over social media. They are already doing it in the United States too. There's been arrests where people were arrested for Facebook posts. It eventually got thrown out, but it's happened. Yeah, the meme one. We had a famous, like, where they prosecuted a guy for making a meme joke. This
About Election Day, which that joke is made on almost every radio station by every disc jockey every election day. But they're not getting arrested. Just random dude that might have messed up something for Hillary, because anybody was going to be taking it seriously.
But that's why, this is where we talk about practical and real world things regarding politics. Do not assume the police officers, if things go south, will be on your side or be your friends. They are more afraid of veterans from the military than anybody. The police officers will be on their side. Retired veterans are the ones where they might cross over and be, freedom fighters or whatever.
Rooftop Koreans.
The rooftop Koreans. So
And Lindsay's
logistically,
right. We just talked about it last week. Shiloh Hendricks. Criminal charges for saying the N-bomb.
while the other
That's
person who was
fucking
recording her
ridiculous.
said it
Multiple
34 times, I think they said on the recording, before she even uttered it once, but somehow it was a fighting word when she did it. That's not how it works.
Also, he was Somalian, so that word doesn't even have the same meaning. You're not an
it's
American black.
fucking meaningless to him. Yeah,
It's
it's
a
dumb.
uniquely, for the most part, American thing.
Yeah.
And then he ran back to Somalia. Well, there's our stroll through COVID times. Nothing's going to happen to Fauci. They may try to hold him in contempt, but still nothing will happen.
You can't hold someone in contempt for pleading the fifth. It'll be thrown out. It's the thing is that what would get you held in contempt is if you said something, if you answered questions after you pled the fifth. That's where it gets nebulous. Where if you start answering questions after you invoke the Fifth Amendment, then you've broken it and you could be held. But the reason
I didn't get to watch from the beginning, but did he make an opening statement?
He gave a brief opening statement saying he would be pleading the Fifth Amendment and not on the advice of counsel and not answering any questions, which you're allowed to do. You basically explain, I'm going to be taking the fifth, and then for every question thereafter, and that's why it was silly. I understand they were doing it for the optics to say things like, "Is the sky blue?" the legal reason is because a defendant or a person testifying under oath, once they invoke the Fifth Amendment, has to stop answering any and all questions. They have to basically refer back to the Fifth Amendment. And they can't. because if you invoke the Fifth Amendment and then later answer another question, you've breached your ability to remain silent, because now you're starting to pick and choose what you can answer. The Fifth Amendment in courtrooms is the blanket application of your right to remain silent, and once you choose your right to remain silent, you have to stop testifying. What gets you in trouble is if you try to pick and choose what you answer and invoke the Fifth Amendment on. So that's why he had to keep doing it. That's why they did the theater of asking him the silly questions so they could get the sound bites. Because honestly, the average person in the United States doesn't understand the legal theory of the Fifth Amendment application. So people get mad, like, why can't he answer that? That's not a question that'll get you in criminal contempt. It's because once you do it, it happens in a court case too. Once you choose to plead the Fifth, you have to do it for every question that follows. And your testifying is effectively done until the person stops asking you questions where you say, on the advice of counsel, I'm pleading, I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment rights.
Well, before we move on to the DSA, let's do a little bit of super chats. We've got Black-Pilled Timon celebrating 20 months of membership. Thank you, sir. Hey, yo, everybody, keep up the good work. Thank you. Here's a new one for you.
Thank you for the super chat. You can use Mad as a voice puppet for $10.
Guess that wasn't the best one to use since Mad's
Use him
not
as a
tonight.
meat puppet too.
Well, congratulations to the child of Danica McKellar and
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly came out a
Jennifer
bit
Connelly.
wonky.
It's okay. It's a Wonder Years thing.
Yeah.
She's just messing with poor. By the way, Winnie Cooper, the worst. But I like Danica McKellar as a person, so it's very conflicting.
And Henry Jeremiah for $5 says, are you going to talk about the shooting involving an AR weapon and that now lost to a regular weapon? We'll be talking about it towards the end because there's just not that much to talk about. Here's the other new one, so everybody gets the new previews.
Please like and subscribe to the Bullpen.
The wonky thing from the AI there is that her bag is glued to her hand on when she points it out, but otherwise
that and the English or the
lack of
the American accent.
I like to think. Well, she's also like her father's from Kansas City, and she grew up there too. She split time between England and Kansas City. She's a Royals fan. I have a lot of knowledge of Haley Atwell.
So yeah, let's go into the Democratic Socialists of America. The title of the episode, the Dems are starting to notice the DSA. Carville, Bill Maher, everybody, all the old guard, all the strategists are looking at it and going, you guys are actually doing this because we're not going along with you. But they'll go along with them. Here's Carville throwing a fit about it. Let me find that video. Everything just went out of order. Yay. Share.
Share.
Trying to share, it doesn't want to. There we go. Wanted to share as a full screen instead of just a window. So crazy James Carville, famous from Old School.
Analyst there is, and I'm not sure what to understand what Madame is doing, but to talk about the larger Democratic Party post the election in Michigan going forward, I am not going to be in the same party with Hassan Piker. I can tell you that right now. If he becomes a force in the Democratic Party, I'm out of here. I have no intention of ever being in the same political party with that guy. Now, I think that a overwhelming majority of Democrats agree with me. But this idea that we're going to seize the means of production and just go look at the DSA platform. You don't have to look any further than that. And, Jackie, it may be that the two-party system is just going to be under tremendous stress here in the coming months. I mean, you see it in with Tucker and Martin Taylor Greene and on the Republican side. You see it going on right now. And I can't sit here and tell you for certainty how this is going to turn out. But the one thing I can tell you for certain, Hassan Piker and James Carville are not going to be in the same political party. One of us is going to leave. It might even be me.
We're going to have.
It might even be me.
Might even be me.
Well, Hassan is not going to be the one leaving, because at the moment, polls are now showing that over 30% of the Dems voters are self-identifying as Democratic Socialists now. And
Great.
That number is growing daily. I know what we all think of Bill Maher. He kind of just occasionally gets things right. But
No,
most of the time
occasionally.
he's a dick.
Yeah.
Broken clock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
But we'll play his response too, because I particularly like one of the audience members' responses later towards the maybe minute 30 mark.
And finally, new rule, Donald Trump has told 1 trillion lies, but when he says the Democratic Socialists of America are actually communist, that's not one of them. And it's not hard to prove it, just by quoting the DSA and their candidates. J.D. Vance was on the show, and I told him that if the Democratic Party keeps going in the direction of the DSA, my vote was in play. And all I heard all vacation was, oh my God, you're a Republican now. No, that's not what I said. I said in play. And here's why. Because not a week goes by where I don't read about some newly chosen, exciting new face in the Democratic Party. And then when that face opens its mouth, the Communist Manifesto or some other crazy shit comes out. Again, let's just read the quotes. The DSA platform says you work as much as you are able and no more than needed. If that was any closer to Karl Marx's dictum, from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs, they'd be sued for plagiarism. New York Mayor Mondani once tweeted Karl Marx's words exactly. They're not trying to hide it. Their most popular influencer, Hassan Piker, thinks communism is so groovy. He laments the fall of the two of the most murderous regimes in history, the Soviet Union and Chairman
All you need
Mao's
to know
China.
right there.
Yep.
Mandami's aide, his top aide, Sia Weaver, said, if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over. And impoverish the white
Take her
middle
right,
class.
my ass.
What? That's a goal? You know you're supposed to
the white
scare
middle
people
class
into
is a
voting
goal.
for you, right? One of the new soon-to-be Democratic Congresspeople, Darlisia Chevalier, supports seizing all properties from landlords and said, seize the means of production. Mandami has said the end goal is seizing the means of production. I think they want to seize the means of production.
You think?
Now, maybe you missed that in school or missed school altogether, but that's communism. Now the coalition
Yes,
within
it
the
is.
DSA,
Here comes the reaction from the crowd that I thought was funny.
called the Marxist Unity Group, is in ascendance, and I must take them at their word when their words include, our commitment is to the long-term struggle for a fully liberated, classless society, in a word, communism. What do they have to do? Tweet out, elect more communists? Oh yeah, Sia Weaver did that. Yes. Good, I'm glad you're shocked. People gotta realize this is going on.
You can go through all the other examples, but that they tweeted out once, elect more communists, that's the one time that somebody in the crowd is like, what? Crazy.
Yeah.
But at
Shocking.
least some of the, I guess, more moderate leftists are at least looking at it and saying they're crazy.
Yeah.
But then you've got the political class and the media class. Margaret Brennan's just trying to flat out defend socialism. I mean, they'll still call them socialist instead of communist. And Ro Khanna is saying, no, a split in the Democrat Party is good. We need to reform the Democrat Party to bring it together a little bit more. Because Ro Khanna will go with whatever the wind blows, whichever way the wind blows. He is one of the most dangerous people in the Democrat Party because he is an empty vessel, just like Biden was. Which
Yep.
means they will happily try to put him in office. So let's see.
Some of them
His
seem
BS.
like they want to take down the party from inside. How does that work with your role as a voice within the Democrat Party and these people who say essentially they want to use the framework, the resources, the voter polls or whatever else that the Democrat Party can offer them, but they don't actually want the party to continue as it now exists?
Well, the Democratic Party needs reform. Look, this is a party that hasn't delivered enough for working class Americans. We shouldn't have supported NAFTA. We shouldn't have supported China into the World Trade Organization. We shouldn't have watched wealth pile up in Wall Street and Silicon Valley while unions were decimated. And what people are saying is we've got to get back to our FDR roots. We need to be a party that is for the working class. We need to be a party that has economic prosperity across this country for every American.
Say what?
I said that ship has sailed, buddy. The Democrats being a party of the working class.
Yeah.
And we need a new, bold economic vision. So I think the reform is good as long as it is for ordinary Americans who have been shafted in the current economy.
I have a response to that.
Go for it.
All right.
You need to just upload it in the back so that because we're going to be dealing with communists for a while.
I do think, yeah, I'm working on actually getting it downloaded so I can make a cutout media file for that, because like you said, after what's been going on lately, I think Tanya the Evil saying F the commies is going to be something we'll get a lot of use out of.
Mm-hmm. So here's one of the last remaining moderates. I mean, you've got Fetterman, and this guy is pretty much done with his career now, but this one's Joe Manchin.
Heather, could you ever support a self-described socialist candidate?
No.
No way. My God, no.
And
even if they have some good ideas?
Well, I support the good ideas,
No,
but how could you
I don't
support
have
some of the
good
crazy
ideas.
Got a
stuff?
couple good ideas that cost everybody else everything.
Have you seen their platform? They're for dismantling everything that we know, whether it be the structure of government, Congress itself, or the Senate they want to get rid of. And then they start talking about all the crazy things. No police, no this, no this, no that. Are you crazy? We want a crime-free area. We have to have police for that.
Yes.
We want a strong defense. We want a strong border. But if Democrats can't say that, and they start lining up with the socialist demands of what you are to be a socialist, energy will be gone. There'll be no energy, okay? We have right now a tremendous amount of energy we're producing, and the world depends more on us than ever before.
But
We can do more.
So Manchin's still got a semi-functioning brain.
Yep. So does Fetterman, believe it or not.
Well, it had to be rewired in order to make him think like a normal human. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that it rewired that way.
Well, he actually came out saying, "I'm not a progressive."
Right.
But
But
a
he
lot of
did
jokes
run
are,
pretty much as a progressive.
yeah. Initially, I believe that was the case, and largely that was probably because of his wife, because his brain was fucking scrambled at the time. Now, yeah, I guess the question is, how much longer do you think he has to be in the Democratic Party? When do you think he's actually going to leave?
Well, the thing with him is, yeah, I think he'll end up leaving the party, but he's still going to caucus with them. Right?
Yeah.
He's still a lefty.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he has a good take on a few things, it's no different than J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
You're
In
still
a lot of
95% on the left, even though you've got one position that puts you 5% on the right.
In a lot of ways, it's like Tina talking about Marvel movies.
Well, I think a lot of it is if he truly is not a progressive, he needs to stand against those progressive positions.
And he has been.
Yeah.
He's about the only one that has been.
Yeah.
That is actually in government. The rest of them are cowering in fear because their base is rabid for socialism.
Yeah.
That is not to say the right doesn't have its own issues.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the right has now. You got Tucker, you got Kent, you got Massey, you got MTG. I don't know who some of the others are, but This is your new America First group.
Okay.
This is the overlap with the left of I hate Israel. That's what this version of the right is. And it's got its own problems. That's why we also call them out. Because over here, if we're going to say that the left better be calling out their crazies, we're calling out our crazies.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no problem calling out most of the people in this picture. They may have been okay at one point, but now they've crossed lines that I'm not going to trust them again on anything. So there's the crazy America First group. And I was on George's show earlier talking about this a little bit. America First does not mean America only.
Yeah.
Which is how they're trying to reinterpret Trump saying America First as into it's America only.
No, you put America first.
We
before
don't have
else.
any friends anywhere else in the world. You know, we can't possibly make deals with Britain or, you know, Israel, which is who really pisses him off. But that's not what America First means. America First means we take care of things here, but we also have different strategies around the world with other partners.
My version of America First would also include the new Trump Monroe Doctrine, where we completely run
the Western Hemisphere,
South America, to our liking. And eventually, once that's done, look to our Canuck brothers of the North to get that right. So, and maybe, I mean, I want the full risk. We need Greenland. We need the whole bonus. Every
the whole
turn.
North America, South America bonus.
Correct.
The whole hemisphere bonus.
Yep. I mean, Asia's tough to hold, so I don't recommend getting in there. But we definitely should be holding all of the North America and get that bonus. That's like 6 armies, right? 5, 6 armies?
I think it's 3 for North America and 3 for South America.
In reality, they predicted the rare earth minerals in Greenland and all the other resources we have. So it is effective. Like, it's a joke. But controlling all of North America and its resources is like a cheat code to having massive amounts of wealth and upgrades. We don't have to be isolationist.
We could leave a couple of armies over there in Okinawa and base them out of Japan just to
prevent
keep Asia in check.
I want to prevent China from getting that Asia bonus.
Yeah, and that backdoor entry into Alaska.
You just got to watch out, because I think China's already working on the turtling Australia philosophy. They're working up to take over down there too. I mean, honestly, we know that
the easiest way to win.
We know the Middle East is already working towards taking over Europe and trying to get that bonus.
I'm hoping anybody in our chat actually knows what Risk is. I think most of them are right around our same age, so I think we all played Risk at some point.
You know, my favorite thing about
Risk. I was like, I thought something else.
Is
no, we're talking about the army bonuses for capturing
Risk.
continents. Yeah.
I'm thinking of Seinfeld, that episode where they were playing Risk, and it was down. He's like, all you have left is Ukraine. It's weak. It's nothing. And it's like, I was like, Jesus, even Seinfeld was predicting geopolitical issues 30 years later. Like, Deeple. Yeah, we all know Risk. We all know.
I figured. But I also figured I would mention to make sure that you guys understand.
It's not like I'm getting into deep stratego strategy.
Ego.
So the other thing that is going on with the Democrat Socialists is Mom Donnie is pissing off some of his own voters. He doxed, what was it, 3,000 or 30,000 people who would be, it's people who own a primary residence somewhere else and then own a secondary, like, rental, or not rental, but own a secondary residence in New York. And he's trying to tax them extra because it's on anybody over 5 million, I think. So let me find the video, because this one dude's like, I voted for this, and now
you did vote for it.
He's doxed me. I can't believe this. And it's like, he's a communist. He does not care about you as an individual.
No, not in the slightest.
So let's bring this in. I just find it hilarious that we're literally months in, and he's already got his supporters going, but now he came for me.
And I've been
No
doxxed.
fucking shit.
I don't know if you've heard, but Mayor Mamdani has decided to release a list of the 950,000 residences with addresses and names that might be eligible for his pied-à-terre tax. I came out in favor of this tax. He's taken a legitimate source of tax revenue and he's turning it into a wanted poster. And the question I would have is, other than trying to identify and imply these people have done something wrong, and then 18 months after a healthcare CEO was executed in the street, and then publish the list, what is the upside here? Why is he doing this?
That's also inadvertently admitting, since he is a leftist, that he understands that the violence will come from the left. Because he's talking about Luigi Mangione.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I supported Robespierre. How is it possible that I'm being brought to the guillotine?
Exactly.
Yeah. Please explain to me how this is happening. I don't understand.
But he literally put everybody's name and address out on a searchable database. So, yeah, when you start seeing the rise of left-wing violence, look towards anybody that was on that list and see if they're falling in there, because that's directly on Mamdani.
So, okay, let me get this straight. What exactly is this list for? This is basically a tax that he wants to implement, and he's basically saying these are the people we want to tax.
Yeah. Here, I'll play another video that might explain it a little bit better. I think this one does. Oh, no, this is a different video.
These people are fucking
this one's
retarded,
about
by
the this is about the DSA members that went over and made a pledge to China. So what is the name of the tax, Chad? It's
Which
like
thing?
French. Pierre d'État or something like that. The New York tax that he's implementing.
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
It is on people who have a second residence. It was supposed to be on people who have the residences more than 5 million. That got lowered to 1 million. So he's basically hitting anybody who's got a second residence in New York. This is the list of those people that tax could be implemented on, but it's basically just a tax of the wealthy people in New York, which that's pretty much what Luigi Mangione was targeting, was rich guy in charge of a company.
Mm-hmm.
Pied-à-terre. I don't know what it actually translates to.
Yeah.
But that's ultimately what the tax is for.
It's insane.
And then we'll go ahead and play this one, because this is some more DSA craziness, and specifically with Mamdani's people.
Reporting, quote, members of Mamdani's DSA pledge to support and defend China. The pledge says, quote, survival of Chinese socialism is a crucial matter. Socialists other
Chinese socialism. They're literally the CCP.
It's
they don't
Chinese authoritarianism, but who's counting?
promises, government subsidized housing, free college, Medicare for all, and a shorter work week, and abolishing ICE. Among other things, Hugh Hewitt, host of The Hugh Hewitt Show and Fox News contributor. Hugh, welcome to you. Good to have you on this morning. Now they're calling to support and defend China. How is it that this group, Democrat socialists, are getting this kind of support? This new CNN poll, I'll put it up on the screen, shows that a third of Democrats now identify as Democrat socialists.
And that's where I got the number from earlier. 33% are now calling themselves Democratic Socialists.
It's ridiculous.
Well, it could very easily destroy the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
But so could the idiots on our side.
Yeah.
So we need to be aware of what's going on.
You know what the common thread between both of those is?
They hate
Hating
the Jews.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier. It's the hatred of Israel and hatred of Jews.
Yeah, which reminds me, I've pointed out on several occasions the people who will be funding Marjorie Taylor Greene and that masshole from Kentucky is the liberals, because they want to get these guys into races to siphon off 3 to 5% so that they can sneak in a Democrat in the elections. They want the Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton never won a majority of votes either election. He didn't. He won a plurality.
Pluralities.
Yeah.
Now here, let me show you this chart.
And they do this, and they do it in Virginia a lot. For some of our viewers who are in Virginia, they know this. They'll sneak in a libertarian candidate who is funded by the left wing, who will send out mailers to suck in libertarian-minded people who are too silly to understand how real politics works. That the only chance is going to be one of the two candidates from the major party to win. And when you are voting not for one of those candidates, you are effectively voting against them, for the other person. If you are a libertarian and you think that somehow voting libertarian is more principles and is going to help, no, you're not helping anybody. And then you try to get in there and be like, well, it's not my fault. I voted for Thomas Massie running as an independent libertarian. You fuck. You did get whoever the Democrat was elected, and now we have communists. That's going to be the truth of it. When they talk about Thomas Massie, trust me, they're going to run him as an independent in 2028 for the sole purpose to try to get Kamala or whatever crazy as batshit person on the left wing that they nominate in, because they are going to. And when you watch,
at this point, it's looking more AOC.
Yeah. When you watch if Thomas Massie gets in, because Thomas Massie has proven to be a lying piece of shit, when he gets in, he will use campaign money to fund his own lifestyle, and he will spend all of his time attacking whoever the conservative Republican nominee is, instead of going after the Democrat. He will do lip service probably to AOC or whatever the communist is, but he will spend all of his time trying to attack the right-wing candidate, the major party one, the Republican, and it will try to siphon off votes. He is either a useful idiot or he's too... I honestly believe Massie's too smart to not know he is doing this on purpose. So this is exactly what their plan is. So when you hear about Massie, who just got booted out of Congress in his own congressional district, coming and talking about, I'm going to run for president. It's not because he knows he's not going to win, and he's not going to run as a Republican. He'll try to get the libertarian nominee thing, locked up, and he's going to spend his entire time sending out mailers against J.D. Vance or Rubio or whoever it is, trying to get that, and he's going to be doing it to help get the Democrat elected, because that's how he'll keep getting paid. And he is an instrument of communism. No more pulling punches. He is an instrument of the Democratic Socialists of America, which is the instrument of the Communist Party. Anybody who supports Thomas Massie or Marjorie Taylor Greene at this point is a useful idiot for communism. And if you see anybody talking about libertarians and libertarian politics, that's what they're doing. They are promoting communism. So just be aware of it.
On that lighthearted note, let's have a lighthearted joke that is probably going to get us in trouble, but we're getting ready to talk about what's going on in Europe, so I figure we'll start with a joke from Erin Wexler, A, because she's hot, and B, because it's hilarious. Have you guys heard of this chick?
No, I have not.
Theo's he's such a sweet boy. Everyone knows dogs. He's a classic lab. He loves everyone, wants to play with everyone, but I won't let him play with pits. Because the thing is, pit bulls are like Muslims. By the way, the few people who aren't excited about this are the pit bull owners in this room. Listen, they're not all violent. Most of them aren't. But somehow, almost every violent attack happens with them. They're like the Al-Qaeda sleeper cell of dogs, you know? You'll see a pet for years, so happy, so sweet, and then they get a signal that we don't see, and they're activated, and your face is torn off. And then
Is
you have
this
some
true,
liberal
Brahma?
white woman defending it, saying that you shouldn't put it down.
What's that?
And that somehow it was your fault.
As a pit
Like,
owner.
Well, all the ones that I grew up with were super peaceful. Great, we should put them in our dog parks because it worked out so well in all the other dog parks, right? This is a breed that was they made it just recently. It's meant for illegal fighting. And we have to pretend that all those years of inbreeding and raising them from a young age to fight, like that just goes away and suddenly they're westernized, domesticated. And you have to wonder if it's a practicing pit. And this isn't a metaphor for anything.
Actually funny female comedian.
What are you getting at with that one, Brahma?
And didn't make a joke about her vag
vagina
the whole time.
Yeah.
No, Aaron Wexler's funny. But yeah, what's going on in Europe at the moment? Spain is being invaded because their Supreme Court and their president are both idiots.
Because they're retarded.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna make it illegal for if you arrived here by coming over the water or through the water, then we're not gonna send you back. Also, let's start offering amnesty. And the reason this is a problem in my mind, I'm not sure how the EU is going to handle it, but once you get amnesty, if you get a passport from any of the European Union countries, you are allowed to go to any of the European countries.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple that are
That's a problem.
stopping it, like Hungary, but they're getting fined, $1 million a day for not allowing immigrants into the country. But once you have citizenship in any of the European Union countries, then you are allowed to travel throughout all of them. So if you're just offering amnesty left and right, then you're doing the same thing that Biden was basically trying to do here, where he's telling people, yeah, don't come, but the border's wide open. You really should make your way up here if you can. There's caravans daily. Just join them.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, it's all good.
And we all know who's the ones doing the invasion. It's North African Muslims. So
That's just racist, Brahma.
Uh-huh.
I love that. Yes, it is. It's fine. Nobody cares.
It's exactly who's coming. And we'll just play the videos in the background. We can talk.
Yeah, I saw that show on Twitter. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's like a zombie horde scenario from like World War Z or something like that. It's fucking crazy, man. Just people spilling over like that. You're just running through the street. That is insane.
Apparently coordinated on Facebook for days and weeks. Facebook groups. That today would be the day that they all make landing.
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Well, here's another view of what was going on. And I've already seen at least one video of somebody getting stabbed in the neck, just randomly walking down the street.
Brahma, check X. You've got it now.
Why would they let this happen? I mean, it boggles my mind.
Why did we allow 14 million or so to come in for 4 years?
Biden's a useful idiot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know why. I know the answer to the question. But still, I mean, just seeing it like that, and you're just like, how can the government let that happen? How can a sovereign country allow something like that to happen? I mean, and again, I know the answer. They want to invoke global communism.
Red-Green Alliance.
Yeah.
We're going to keep harping on it, or at least I am. Red-Green Alliance.
Yeah.
Watch out for it. Where, Chad? There it is.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a clip I'm going to share while you're pulling that up. Here you go. This is Trump being awesome. Here you go. You ready? You listening?
They wanted a little bit of help, and we're always there for Japan. Japan's been very good to us, with the exception, of course, of Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor, that was probably the worst thing ever. But now the Japanese are all right.
I love Trump because every time he talks about how awesome Japan is, he constantly brings up Pearl Harbor. You know, Japan's awesome. They're great. Japan loves me. Japan's been great for America. You know, except for that little bump in the road where they surprise attacked us at Pearl Harbor.
You sneaky bastards. All right, let me see if it'll play, just to test it and also to bring it into the library.
I gave it a slightly upgraded version for you because I think this will be more fun for our usage. Let's see if you like.
開戦必要の場合、予防攻撃は許可されるのでしょうか。コミュニスト相手だ、遠慮はいらん。
Nice.
Yes.
But that's why Comix need. Have you started watching the show now?
I need to start watching it. I don't have Crunchyroll, and I'm not planning on giving Sony money.
It's very available, you know, Jack Sparrow-ish.
Yeah.
Including an English dub if you want to not have to read subtitles.
Yeah. I'm working on getting Jack Sparrow back up and running to be able to do that again. So.
But I will tell you that it's better in Japanese where you hear her go, Komis.
Komis.
You have to kill the Komis. You're like, but yeah, we're going to get a lot of usage out of that clip after the DSA, people. By the way, you hear our new boy in Maine that they're going to replace Plattner with is banging a cousin of his.
Yes.
Your cousin
has multiple kids with his cousin.
What? Sorry, I was busy sneezing.
The guy that they replaced Plattner with apparently has been in a relationship with his cousin and has like 2 kids with his cousin.
Like first cousin? Second cousin?
I'm not sure which.
Third?
I'm not sure.
Is he from Pakistan?
No, he's just run-of-the-mill American crazy.
Okay. So Louisiana.
Yeah.
Cue the banjo. That's funny, Soul Assassin.
Exactly. Darren, you may have a drink if you would like a drink. What do we got next? Let's knock out the Dana Bash and RFK thing because that was kind of funny. Because Dana Bash is a freaking idiot. So bring this up. Dana Bash telling us about how the vaccine was so effective.
Yeah, it's so effective. People still got COVID because vaccines are not 90 or not 100% effective.
When Rachel Maddow said that you couldn't even spread it, you couldn't get it, you couldn't spread it. Vaccine was perfect in every way.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to use this interview to allow you to say things that aren't entirely true. You're talking about therapeutics, fine. It is also factually true that the COVID vaccine worked. The COVID vaccine prevented death.
First off, the mRNA vaccine is not a vaccine. It is a genetic therapy.
A therapeutic.
Yeah.
But how are you still spouting this crap at this point? It worked. Look. It's like, no, it didn't. You guys told us, you guys promised the moon, and every American who took it was given nothing that they were told.
Yep.
The only thing that it allowed them to do was be more authoritarian towards the people who didn't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you got your stupid vax card and you were allowed to go to a restaurant, but not you dirty unvaxxed, and you were all going to be dead by the winter.
Yep. And you deserved it.
I know some people, even in this chat, had to take it because of work. I don't blame you.
On this panel had to do it because I live in Northern Virginia.
Let you say it if you were going to say it.
Yeah, I live in Northern Virginia. I got laid off, and the only way you could even it was an interview screening question. You had to provide your proof of vaccination.
That's such bullshit.
To even get an interview at the time. So I was like, F it, I need to support my family. So, and it was interesting because my wife was like, well, if you're getting him, I get it. And I was like, fuck no, you're not. You and my son are not getting this. I will, I will suffer.
Shall stay pure bloods.
Yeah. I felt like I was in fucking Harry Potter. I became a mudblood because I had to support my family, whereas they're pure blood supremacy over here. Because at the time I was like, look, I mean, if we want to still have another have a miracle baby at our stage in life, I'd rather you be untainted by this vaccine, even though it may impact my ability to help you with that phase. But at the very least, I was reading the information we had from the healthcare side that, women facing pregnancy they were the absolute worst for complications for what that thing could do to you.
Yeah.
In terms of fertility and other things. So,
well, yeah, because it was doing all kinds of crazy stuff. There were women in their 80s who restarted their menstrual cycles after taking the vaccine.
That's so crazy.
Obviously, it was targeting certain areas and certain organs. But let's let her finish, because the vaccine was definitely the most effective.
That's true.
thing ever.
You can't stop a Branch Covidian from finishing their vaccination holy prayer.
Yeah.
True that the COVID vaccine worked. The COVID vaccine prevented deaths. There is data upon data upon data. Let's talk about the measles, please, because this is something that is happening as we speak. The cases in the U.S.
vaccine protected children.
I think that what I have talked to scientists and doctors
You've talked
about.
to scientists. Can you show me one study?
Yes, I can.
That shows that
I can.
Children were protected by the COVID vaccine.
I can tell you that
that vaccine did more good than harm to children. Can you show me one study that shows that?
I can tell you that when it comes to
I can tell you, but I can't show you.
There have been studies that show that because of vaccine disinformation, there could have been 100 to 200,000 lives in the U.S. saved. But because
this is where he on national TV says, "Lady, you're full of shit."
But she was just arguing that it was saving children. Then she changes it to 200,000 people were saved. Children were the least likely.
They were the least
impacted
impacted
by
by
COVID in any way.
Yeah.
Not to mention, by the way, here's what the truth of it is: lazy fucking teachers didn't want to go back to the office.
Randy Weingarten did not want to reopen the schools for 4 years.
And I see, by the way, Pope Metallicus in chat. Yeah, I moved into a place in Virginia where you're basically speaking of, in that same zone. So I'm actually very near you, and maybe same vicinity. Maybe we'll hang out. But yeah, so I got out. I was in Prince William County when COVID broke out, and after seeing what they're doing, we yeeted out to the west side of Virginia towards the panhandle of West Virginia. So I know exactly where you are talking about. And I would agree. This is Western Virginia is best Virginia in terms of actually taking care of that kind of stuff. My favorite part about where I live is we had a guy who was on our board of supervisors who was at January 6th. And when they tried to get him out of office because he was there, he ended up winning his next election by more than he won the first time after he got convicted of misdemeanor for January 6th. Our part of Virginia was like, that's who we want. That's what we're going to get in there.
And we're going to elect a felon to be president. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Because you just got to be 35 and natural born.
Hell yeah, boy.
Even with a ton of fake felonies. All right, let's let her finish and let RFK rip her apart.
I'm not saying that it entirely.
You are saying nonsense. You are saying something that you cannot show me a single study.
I am not saying nonsense.
You are talking what somebody told you.
Excuse me.
And you cite me the study. What study?
No, what studies are you talking about? You're talking about studies that actually don't exist. I want to talk about.
Cite me the study that you're talking about.
I am not here to defend.
Studies. Cite me the study.
This is not productive. I am not here to defend all of the. Let me
You're
finish.
talking nonsense. You're making assertions.
Now this isn't productive.
And then when I call you on them, you're telling me that I'm arguing.
Okay. Do you want to talk about? You want to talk?
Then they go on to talk about measles. And it's like,
Crazy bitch.
She's trying to tie it to, well, you've been you're a vaccine, denier. And
Yeah.
he's like,
Anti-vaxxer.
no, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I just think we need to study the vaccines a little bit more, blah, blah, blah. I think we can all see how measles would be on the rise. We've
Because
let how
the
many
left is
people
very
from the freaking...
anti-vax.
No, because we've let so many people from the freaking third world that would never have gotten a vaccine for measles
There's
into
that
the
too,
freaking country.
But you have a lot of people on the left. Remember that they're making comments about how there's a possibility that the plague could be making a comeback in LA because the left became because of how granola people are. They're the ones that aren't vaccinating their kids as well. So
yeah, I love that if you didn't take the COVID vax, then that makes you anti-vax. No, I'm definitely going to look more into vaccinations before just letting my kids or advising my daughter to let my granddaughter just take everything and get it all within like 6 hours of being born.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. Do I think the Hep B thing is absolutely the most retarded thing I've ever heard? Yeah. Why does a child need a vaccination for something that if the mother doesn't have Hep, then they can only get it through sexual contact? So you don't need that vaccination at 9 months or whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, happy birthday to my granddaughter today.
Yeah, happy birthday to your granddaughter.
She's 2 already.
I was gonna say, is she 2?
Yep.
My wife was definitely afraid of like the idea because when we had our son, I was when we went to that initial, visit, because you're required, you have to go to the pediatrician within like X days, and they start getting you on your vaccine schedule. Now this was pre-COVID, luckily for us. So when we're at the pediatrician, I'm like, no, we're not doing all this at once, because they wanted to do like 27 shots.
Yeah.
All in once. I was like, we're going to do like 2 at a time. And we're going to, because you're having me bring my boy in like every month or 2 for the first year. So we're going to we're spacing them out, because I genuinely believe that what I think that a lot of the vaccine complications that we see in children isn't one individual vaccine that causes it. It's because they load them up all at once.
It's beating the crap out of their immune system
and
all at once.
Well, it's also so they can put mercury in vaccinations, and there's a lot of other things. So when they do
probably where the autism link could come from, if there actually is one.
When they do these tests on the safety of the vaccines, if they even test them, they're testing the individual dose of the individual vaccine. They have never done, not once, not ever, any kind of study on the safety of the vaccine schedule where you give them all of them at like the way they want to do it.
Which is exactly what RFK has been pushing for, is re-looking at how many vaccinations we do, because it's into like what, the 150s or something like that, maybe even higher than that. And the amount that they try to vaccinate now is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. There's no, and so I would, and at the time, because it was pre-COVID, the pediatrician was like, oh yeah, that's fine. And they let us do it. We looked it up once, COVID had hit. All of, to a person, all these pediatrician offices were basically saying, we won't accept you as patients if you ask any questions about the vaccine schedule that we're going to put out.
Wow.
They will not allow you, if you even, and they said specifically, even if you just ask about spacing out vaccinations, you're not going to be allowed in the office. My wife didn't take my son to a pediatrician since COVID. And now, it was years and he's fine. He was developing fine. And we finally just went to a regular doctor because he was old enough for it. Because I was like, look, just go to the regular primary care doctor. And, and she still had worries that they were going to try to push this stuff. And luckily, where we're at now in Virginia, the regular, it's a nurse practitioner. She's older and experienced, and she was just like, "Oh yeah, he's fine. Does he need any shots? No, he doesn't need any."
Well, we grew up in a time where if you got chickenpox, we had chickenpox parties so that everybody got exposed to it, and it was done. And did you guys have a chickenpox party when you were growing up, or did you ever get chickenpox?
No,
I
but
did
I
get
know
chickenpox.
that
I didn't go to a chickenpox party.
Damn it, Brahma. It's comics. All right. No, I didn't, but I know that Brahma had a monkeypox party at the Bro Over.
Wah, wah.
Well, apparently there's going to be a monkeypox party part 2 coming up.
Yeah, Mad was mad he didn't get it infected.
Of course he would be. I mean,
oh, but this time Mad's like, that's gonna be Mad's intro line. Hey, Quarter Black, want some monkeypox?
I haven't talked to Quarter Black yet.
Oh,
at the moment it's only Mad.
Well, that's not a Bro Over.
Well, the first Bro Over was just me and Mad hanging out. Hey, Comix, you want to come to the Bro Over? You can ride up with Mad.
Yeah, I'm glad you know what? I'm really glad you specified in your statement what you meant by that, because the statement I want to isolate was, "Hey, Comix, you want to come over? You can ride Mad."
Yeah, I'll pass. Thanks for the invite, but I'll pass.
You can drive a Miata. It'll fit right in for the Bro Over. Just make sure the top's down. You know, by the way, is a Mazda Miata the gayest car? I feel like it is.
Kinda.
Are we talking like the 80s, 90s, or like 2000s?
No, current that you can get right now. I feel like Mazda Miata is probably the gayest.
They still make that thing?
Yes,
they don't call it a Miata anymore. They call it something else.
It's not the Miata?
No, it's like an M4 or something like that.
It's got to still be available. Nope, they still make it. 2026 Mazda MX-5 Miata.
Yeah, MX-5. That's what it is.
But it's still a Miata. Like the back of a Volkswagen? Oh, Mallrats is
an uncomfortable
always
place.
Well, did he finish? Some things you don't ask.
Did he come or what?
I feel like that's what's going to happen when Brahma finally gives the stories of the Bro Over, and you're going to be like, no, some things you just don't share.
Yeah.
Oh my
like
God.
AIDS. There's some things you don't share, like AIDS.
Today we found out that me and Pope Metallicus are apparently very similar, because I also had an RX-8. And it was a fun-ass car. That was like the actual like manly version of a Miata, because it was badass. The only problem is that motherfucking rotary engine would flood like its job anytime the temperature dropped below 30 degrees. Like I just, for the entire winter, it was just like, that car is just sitting, and I'm just going to keep the battery charged up, because if you try to start it, and this, I should say, it wasn't me, it was a person who lived in my household who didn't know how to properly operate and would constantly flood the engine, and then I'd have to go out there and look like a dumbass, because I'd have to sit there, have my battery turned on, and they would see me pumping gas into this thing to get that rotary engine to go, and then black smoke would just be billowing out of the exhaust while it was burning off all the gas that had flooded in. Oh, yes. Here's what she would drive it for like a minute and then just park it, like moving it in a space. And then every time that happened in the winter, the engine was just done till I could get it going. And then I'd have to let it run for like 40 minutes so it could completely burn off all the things. But it was
I forgot about the. Do they still make the RX-8? I haven't seen those in years.
No, they haven't made the RX-8 since like 2012, I want to say.
Yeah, those are pretty.
What was great about them is that they had a 50-50 front and rear
going
weight
into
balance.
another segment of the story. I'm going to step out for a second.
Whatever. I'm sorry I had a cool car and you just had kids.
Wow.
That's the thing, by the way. You can't have a cool car when you have kids. We had our RX-8 till we found out my wife was pregnant, and then it was immediately trading it in for a Kia. And we got the Kia Optima.
Why would you get a Kia?
Because it was a very affordable full-size sedan. Why wouldn't I get one? I wasn't driving a minivan. What am I, gay?
Well, I thought driving the Miata made you gay.
No, I had an RX-8.
Same difference.
No, an RX-8 was cool. RX-8 was an X-Men, man.
I'm laughing because I actually owned a Miata.
Oh no.
I want to say it was like it was a 2010s MX-5. That thing was actually pretty fucking badass.
Mazdas are fun to drive. I won't.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
they.
the guy that owned it before me used it for racing, so he had like all these fucking mods on it. It was crazy. I would tell you what modifications are on there, but it would just lead to more gay jokes. But the guy was using it for racing, and that car was fucking fast.
I just love the shit out of my RX-8, like because we would drive on the back roads. Now an RX-8, I didn't mod it for like racing or anything.
Yeah.
But when you were actually like on a back road because of that 50-50 weight balance and the wide set of the Mazda sports cars, that thing would hug the road, so you could take those turns so fast compared to
the thing that sucked is I had low profile tires, and if you fucking hit a pothole, it's like there goes your tire. But I ended up trading the Miata in for a 370Z.
Picking up chicks with the Miata, saying, "Hey, you want to take a spin in my Miata? You can sit on my lap because that's the only place you'll fit."
Yeah. That was the well, I mean, I was married when I bought it. But yeah, the funny thing is I was pretty big into independent film, and it was crazy trying to pack all my gear into that fucking car. It was a pain in the ass. But yeah, I ended up trading it in for a Nissan. And then eventually I traded my wife hated the fucking Z. And so I ended up trading
the Nissan Z.
Yeah.
I wonder if they still sell those in manual, because I
mine
know
was
that
manual. Both mine were manuals.
I know you can still get Mustangs in manual.
Yeah.
But
and that's the one I'm looking. The Mustang I'm looking at getting now is a manual.
I feel like I don't know. I want to look up because I don't think Dodge makes any of theirs in manual, like any of the like Charger.
The Chargers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or maybe the Demon. The high end but I think those are all electronic shifting. Like launch mode, drag race. Ones. It's really weird how the manual transmission is kind of dying out from a mainstream automobile.
I fucking love manuals. I really do. That's like the one thing I was sad about with my Jeep is the fact that it was an automatic. And it's been a good number of years since I've driven a manual, but it's like riding a bicycle, right? You'll never forget.
The last manual I had was my 4-door Mini, and that thing was so fun to drive. Those things have so much pep.
Yeah, but the thing, part of the reason why I want to get the Mustang is I want a fucking V8, dude. V8 engines, basically 6 gears. Fuck yeah.
Looks like you can still get Honda Civic SIs in manual. You can get Mazda 3s in manual. The Miata does have a manual you can get. Nissan Zs are still available in manual.
Yeah.
Ford Mustang but you have to go all the way up to the GT trim or Dark Horse trims to even get it. So
GT is the minimum where it comes in for manual. Yes. I would love to get a GT premium, but so much more expensive.
The Ford Bronco has a manual speed exclusively on a high-end, trim, a 7-speed manual for the Bronco. If you get it in white, you even get AC Cowlings, Al Cowlings, to drive you.
But his only ever got out a second.
You know this AC. You know who this is.
Yeah, I know who he is.
But
I forgot all about Al Cowlings until you mentioned his name. I was like, oh yeah, OJ.
That's crazy that they're like that Dodge wouldn't make any of their muscle cars in manual. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the market who wants to buy like a Demon or a Charger or like one of those high-end drag racers is going to want a manual transmission.
One thing I was looking at, I was
people
like,
our age, yeah.
Yeah. Because the 70 body style for the Mustang is like fucking the best body style.
The fastback.
Yeah. And yeah, they I was looking at, oh yeah, maybe I could get one that's affordable. No, they're all like 70,000 plus.
Buy
more
a,
expensive.
You're gonna want, if you want to get a Mustang, you're gonna want to get a teens model like that, because the aftermarket mod stuff is so available.
Really?
Ford just did in the last 2 model years. Ford completely screwed over the mod community by basically locking them out.
Really?
Yep. The newer engine style in the Mustangs are not ones that you can mod the way the older ones could. Even Ford CEO's son was complaining about it on message boards that he couldn't mod the new Mustangs, so he was sticking with the older ones. I would say if it was possible, if you get an older, because Mustangs, you have a lot of guys who take care of them, and so you can still find low mileage with 20 teens models.
Everything I looked at during the week has basically been fucking sold. Right. I was looking at it at 2017, 2016. That was pretty reasonably priced, pretty reasonable mileage, considering it's a car that's well over 10 years old, or close to 10 years old. And yeah, everything I was looking at fucking gone. Cause I was like,
because
let's think about sticking
that's
with
why
it.
those ones are what's really in demand. That's the Mustang community wants the ones. Number one, you want one before it had the auto shut off.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the things that fucks engines so hard. And people don't want to talk about it, but the reason why American auto companies have had so many issues with engines in the last 5-6 years is because they all added those auto starts, auto shutoffs, and that does so much more damage to your car. Like my Ford Escape, I have a 2017, and the mechanics are amazed that it's like I've got 187,000. I've never, and knock on wood, I haven't had any major mechanical failures. First thing I do is I make sure I actually, every 20,000 miles, you need to change that transmission fluid, because on the Ford EcoBoost engines, they are super sensitive on the transmission to not having fluid changes every 20 to 25,000. And the other thing is the auto start stop. From when I got it day one, I turned that thing off every time I start my engine. And it's made mine last so much, because the engines themselves aren't terrible, but the auto start and shut off, everybody who in the old days, we all got taught the roughest thing on your engine was shutting it off.
Shutting it off and starting it.
The starting process. And with those auto shutoffs, you're now doing it 40 times a drive if you're commuting, where you have any kind of lights.
I don't know, because this is manual. I don't know if it has the auto stop start or not. And I know you could bypass them.
I don't think the manuals have it.
Yeah,
I think it's just in the automatics.
Because that's a big fucking
that's the other thing. If it's before 2022, 2023, I think it's fairly easy to completely bypass and disconnect the auto shut off. But they at least after like 2022, 2023, all the manufacturers integrated it so deep that you basically can't negate that without like taking chips.
If I remember right, on the Jeeps, I think it is the same fuse that is also tied into your radio.
Well, there's a bypass like thing you can get.
Yeah, you can get a module that you plug in.
But yeah, I that's like part of the reason why I don't want to get like a modern car, is because of that bullshit. And yeah, unfortunately, it's like everything like 2016, 2017 I was looking at has just been fucking sold. Like,
gonna have to jump on it quick.
Yeah. There's another one I'm looking at, which is a 2019, and I don't know, but I'm looking at a 2022 one that's a fastback. It looks pretty nice, reasonably priced.
Well, just for like insurance costs and stuff too. You want to look a little bit older because after like 2020, 2021, every car has all that stupid technology like lane drift and all that kind of stuff built into the windshields. So a windshield went from being a $275 piece of glass or $350 piece of glass to now it costs like $1,800 to get your windshield replaced. Because it's all got to be calibrated after they put in a new windshield.
Oh, wow. That's ridiculous.
And that's on almost every make and model of everything after, say, 2022. Like, it was early in, like, Subarus and stuff because they've always had all the crazy safety stuff. But after 2022, I think every car has that built into the windshield and stuff. And it will not function. Like, they're not even things I want or need, but like the car will not function without having those things calibrated after a
Oh no, this one's a 2017 GT.
That's safe.
Yeah.
Real quick, Dan Crane gifted a Brahma Bull membership. Thank you, Dan. And that went to Dead Man. I think we'll give you the crazy presidential candidate.
You want to hear me say something smart for once? The bullpen is awesome.
And Maud Darren M comes in with 10 Canadian. Happy birthday to your granddaughter. Buy her a treat. God bless. Thank you, Darren. We'll give him...
I don't always watch YouTube for politics, but when I do, it is the bullpen with Brahma Bull and Lil Chad.
Thanks again, Darren. Well, we talked about a gay car, the Miata. So I guess we should talk about the other gay thing on the topic list, the WNBA.
Well,
so
that is pretty gay. Not everybody in the WNBA is gay, but if you aren't, you're going to get your teeth knocked out.
Yes. So Sophie Cunningham basically came out, what, a week and a half ago?
Isn't it funny how this is what coming out in the WNBA is?
Right. Everybody else is way out. But so she essentially said, yeah, I don't want guys in women's sports, which
good for her.
Is the whole predicate of the WNBA is that they are separating women from men. There's no reason for the WNBA to exist if you don't believe in the differences between men and women, because it's specifically the women's NBA. But they are too stupid to understand these things. So this is some crazy chick just losing her mind about it. And then we'll show what happened to Sophie. I think it was in a game either today or yesterday. Remember, Sophie's the one that basically protects the only good player in women's basketball, Caitlin Clark. So, the one who constantly is getting beat up.
So, Sophie Cunningham...
It's not playing with sound.
I heard it.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
It was muted for me on my headphones then.
Throwing her hat in the ring of political grift and then turning around and saying, but you'd be surprised about my beliefs. A lot of people like to think I'm right wing, and I'm not. I believe all different things, but this to me just seems like common sense. All you're telling us, Sophie, is that you don't really have critical thinking skills, or that you aren't interested in employing them. You're taking the message that's being given to you by people.
Remember, this chick is saying you don't have common sense or critical thinking skills if you believe that men can become, or don't believe that men can become women.
Okay, so she's basically defending trans women in sports.
The chick who's talking is.
Yes,
Sophie,
the chick who's talking.
The player,
Yeah.
said, I don't want
Wow,
men in women's sports.
That is fucking rich, dude. That is some serious chocolate mousse shit right there, man.
Common sense throughout history is boys are boys and girls are girls. But yeah.
But you are not
Tell us how
employing
you
critical
guys changed
thinking
it in the
skills by
last
saying,
15
yeah,
years.
maybe men shouldn't play in women's sports.
All I
Yeah.
see.
Okay,
you guys
whatever.
used to watch? Did any of you used to watch Futurama?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
remember the episode when they went to the Amazon giant planet?
Yes.
And
Snoo.
no, and they were like they were playing basketball, and the
Oh,
Amazon
yeah.
one was like, we know can dunk,
Fundamentals.
but strong
Yeah.
on fundamentals. It better game, and they just started laughing.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That are highly invested in this dividing us, and you're helping them sell it by not questioning it at all, which is extra crazy given the fact you're surrounded by people you could talk to about this issue to better understand it. Because the W has a lot of
us
members
don't
of
need
the LGBTQ.
somebody trying to indoctrinate us into something that's completely batshit crazy.
And the shorthand, like Brahma said, for this league is the W, which stands for women's.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works, doesn't it? Hmm.
What is your version
And
of the
now
W?
that-
One with dicks.
Word community is very important to stand it, because the W has a lot of members of the LGBTQ community. And now that word community is very important to people who are in that community.
Where's the
Because
IA
they
plus
must
bigot?
consider and love and work on behalf of each other.
This
because
woman's not up
historically
on
nobody
her
else is
letters, so she's not doing the work. She needs to be re-educated.
Really?
And
standing
she
up
doesn't
and
know
doing
about
it,
two
and that's for them,
spirits.
and they're having
She
rights
doesn't
taken
know.
away. So the fact that you have such a strong gay presence in this sport, WNBA, the sport you play, and you don't have a more nuanced understanding of the issue makes me go, wow, so you just don't listen at all. You're just not interested.
You're a fucking dumb bitch. That's what you are.
I love that we're now basically admitting what we all made fun of growing up, that, you know, basically girls sports, it was made up of, like, softball team, lesbians.
Yeah.
Basketball team, lesbians. And now
Yeah.
it's,
I was
well, our
silly
whole league is
people
just
known.
lesbians.
Yeah.
You, the one straight girl, you better get in line. Well, one of two straight girls that we know of, better get in line. So, here's what happened in the game. Even if you don't know basketball, I think you'll be able to tell that this is kind of absolutely insane, this call. So, let's grab it. And I've got to play it without sound because of the music. So the other coach is wearing a pro-trans shirt underneath her sports jacket. Sophie takes a full elbow to the face.
Wow.
And they've been beating up this girl and Caitlin Clark left and right. What do the refs do?
Nothing.
They call a foul on Sophie for taking an elbow to the face. They even review the play and still come back and say, yeah, that was a foul on you. Defensive foul. You're impeding her. I mean, pretty much any time in basketball, when you're whipping your elbow, you're in charge of your elbow there. And then I don't know that I agree with the take of the person who made this specific clip of it, saying that because they were trying to taunt Sophie by playing 4 non-blondes during the break. It's like, yes, they're lesbians, but I mean, that's to be expected at a WNBA game, I would think.
You want to know one of the reasons that their heads are exploding about Sophie Cunningham? This was before that game.
The people who have been
Riley
protesting
Gaines.
alongside her.
No, that's Riley
or
Gaines.
In support of her.
Yeah,
it is Riley. Okay,
she's taking pictures with Riley Gaines, and then that was the Levi's executive they fired for being not on the trans agenda.
Right.
So they're running the organization about protecting women's sports. So she's posing with them, and then she, I think, did another picture with them. Specifically promoting, women in women's sports. And so they're apoplectic because they hate the fact that her popularity skyrocketed after doing that. So they need to eliminate her, make an example of her, get rid of her.
I think the first thing that, her pinned post on Twitter, I believe, is a Bible verse. So they're not real big fans of stuff like that for the most part.
Not really.
Let me see if I can pull it up. It was there a few days ago.
Not everybody all at once.
I'm trying to find her.
I know. Just the fact that everyone's quiet.
Let's see. People. Yeah. Her top pinned post from 2016. Everything happens for a reason is not in the Bible, but God promises to work all things to good for those who love him is Romans 8:28. So she's got some beliefs that aren't gonna fit all
Aren't
that
gonna
well
fly
into
with
the
certain people?
WNBA.
Yeah.
But the WNBA is completely subsidized by the NBA. I mean, they're constantly complaining about their pay, just like the women's national soccer team. And it's like, this is the first time that anybody has paid attention to your sport, is Caitlin Clark coming in, outside of maybe the dildos being launched onto the court last season. But Caitlin Clark coming in and being the best player in the history of the WNBA. And earlier I was likening it to, they're beating the crap out of Sophie and Caitlin Clark on a every single day basis. Every single game that they play, they're getting hard fouls. Caitlin Clark is maybe the only thing that could bring money into this league. She's the only time they've ever sold tickets. This would be like if every one of the pro golfers just decided when Tiger Woods came out, yeah, we don't like him, and, started trying to chase him out of the PGA. Tiger Woods single-handedly raised the payouts for every single pro golfer by millions of dollars just by being there, because he was that good. You don't try to kick out your cash cow. The one thing that could try to make you money, and you're going to try to run her out of the league. That's women's sports for you. The guys look at Tiger and they say, he's good, and this is good for our league. Yeah, I may not ever beat him, but look at what it's doing for golf. Because it brought a whole new wave of people into golf. That's what Caitlin Clark did for the WNBA. I would still never watch it, but she actually can play. And they are trying to run her out of the league. So, kind of insane.
Yep.
All right, we're going into the getting close to the 2-hour mark. I've got one other clip of kind of something crazy with Oxford Union. Tommy Robinson was there, and this chick gets up and basically makes his point for him. So let me bring this in real quick. I just thought this one was kind of hilarious because half the time they don't even realize that they're just proving our points when they say crazy outlandish BS like this. Sound.
Stephen Yaxley Lennon, known to his hooligans as Tommy Robinson. Stephen, there is a crowd outside rioting against you tonight, and without the protection and generosity of a Muslim Palestinian president and a mostly South Asian executive committee, you would be quite literally cooked.
Wow, she literally just made his point.
Yeah. People on the right.
How dare
the
you
Muslims
say
are in charge and are saying that, yeah, we're providing your security, from the people outside that are on their side saying that they're going to rip him apart if he doesn't have security. That pretty much says exactly what he's been saying this whole time.
Yeah.
They've been invaded.
Yep. And remember, for people who don't speak English, and when I say English, I mean like British English, Southeast Asia means India and Pakistan. So
yeah.
Specifically the Muslim variant of that. Well, Pakistan is pretty much all, but Indian Muslim. So they try to. That's one of the ways they conflate it over there, because at least they know in mass media in the American market, when we hear Asian, we assume like
we assume what used to be Oriental,
Chinese, China.
Yeah.
When
China.
they say when English, British English says Asian, they mean Indian and Pakistani.
Right.
Because as former colonies, those people have free access to coming into Britain because they are effectively, former subjects of the British Empire. It's an invasion by invitation, which is very interesting. You don't usually see that kind of thing.
As reparations for imperialism and colonialism, because we're told that was a bad thing for some reason. All right, we've got 2 other idiots to go through real quick, and then I'm out of clips. So,
do we have AOC or something?
No, sadder than that.
Also talked about this article about how
Groyper.
he is trying to seem unstable. And I wanted it to be as unstable and insulting as possible, believing it could bring the Iranians to the table. That post about a whole civilization will die, he saw it as a way to spur negotiations in a war the president was desperately ready to end. Axios reporting today that Trump is bored of this war and wants it over.
Listening to Axios.
Whatever. Maybe it wasn't the best thing to start if you didn't have the patience to actually see it through. That's what his supporters of the war might say. I mean, those of us who have been against it from the beginning would like to see it wrapped up, whether it's out of boredom or not. It's really too bad that the cost of American lives isn't the motivator. It's that Trump has moved on to other things because he has the attention span of a gnat. We don't know whether they're showing up. We don't know whether we should believe our president when he says this is happening and this is happening, because we know he's manipulating them and us with virtually every statement. Truth does not seem to be relevant.
Notice how she's starting to do the Candace thing. We know these things. We know this. We know this because of this. Like, nothing is, I think, it's we know.
That's right. That's something she does say a lot. We know this.
Yeah.
It's really all just tactics. And
It is known.
he doesn't really give a damn that the American people are being dragged along on these tactical misdirections. So I have no idea what to tell you. I don't know what's true. I don't know whether the Iranians will show up. I don't know whether we really will start bombing. I don't know whether he's so desperate to get a deal that he will give it all away and there'll be no more bombing. Really don't know. We'll find out tonight over into tomorrow, and we'll update you then.
Just in case you weren't sure if Megyn was done with Trump or not. She's gone fully into the Trump's an idiot. Can't stand the guy. He makes stupid decisions and he doesn't have the attention of a gnat. And it's like, yeah, no, if you actually kind of analyze what's been going on in the world, like we have been, there are reasons for things. Just because you can't recognize them doesn't mean he's a complete idiot for taking any of these actions, because they said the same thing about Venezuela. And that was a one-night operation. Yeah, it's gone on a little bit longer than I would like, but it has to be done. And then last idiot for the night.
Yeah. What, real quick before she's like, they know that we know that they know that we know, but do we know that they know what we know? Candace is just asking questions.
I don't know, but I don't know, but I know.
The level of sheer idiocracy of the Groyper wing is just, it boggles me.
Mm-hmm. And here's one of our favorite.
It boggles the mind.
You know what they've been doing with white men over the last 2 generations? Telling them, don't go to college. College is a waste of time. Telling them, you don't have to be excellent. You don't have to strive. Your only problem is that these brown people or black people are stealing your shot. If you get the chance, you can do it because you're naturally superior. You just tell people you're superior. You don't have to get educated. You're superior. You don't have to. You're superior. You don't.
Exactly what we've been saying.
Yeah, totally. This lady's retarded.
Yeah.
Oh, Joy Reid. No wonder. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because obviously we've just been saying, yeah, don't go to college to get indoctrinated because you'll just be given everything anyway because you're white.
Yeah.
And yeah, you should be worried about black and brown people being handed a whole bunch of DEI jobs because we don't know if they're actually qualified. completely different argument.
Well, and again, it goes back to the only thing people like Joy Reid have is to fall back on is racism, and that credibility has been spent.
And she falls back on it nonstop.
Yeah, that's the thing. The funny thing is, Aaron Magruder years ago talked about this. If you don't know who Aaron Magruder is, he's the guy who created the Boondocks, and it started off as a comic strip, and now it's it was a cartoon on Adult Swim on Cartoon Network. And what ended up happening is he basically said, black people, it's like you need to stop fucking around because the goodwill of white people is going to run out, and that's basically where we're at right now.
Yep. I love the examples the examples that she starts coming up with here are great.
Have to get more training. You're superior. You don't even have to try. We just have to eliminate your competition and you'll be fine. You've been spending a decade insisting and telling us Elon Musk is a genius. When you hear him talk, you realize he's actually an idiot. You keep telling him, but he.
Okay. Joy, how many rockets have you launched in space?
And
what company
back on the ground here?
Yeah. What company did you found? And granted, obviously, Elon's not the rocket scientist that are doing this, but he's obviously smart enough to be able to hire smart people to do it. But what groundbreaking technology has your company developed? Oh, that's right. You got fired from PMSNBC.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Do a racist podcast.
Yeah.
He invented Tesla. Actually an idiot. But you keep telling him, but he invented Tesla when he didn't. He just bought it. Telling people rich people are brilliant because they're rich.
Tesla was going nowhere till he bought it. And then it became the largest electric car manufacturer on the planet.
Yeah.
Which they all should love.
Well, they did. Remember?
Yeah.
And then because he supported Trump and the Doge thing, suddenly the left was like, fuck Tesla, fuck Elon Musk. Remember all the Tesla attacks that were happening?
Yep.
Attacks on the dealerships, attacks on vehicles. I mean, come on.
She's got some more examples of people.
Rich people are brilliant because they're rich. Donald Trump is, the natural president and perfect and smart because he's wealthy. And that because someone is rich, it means they're smart. It doesn't. And last time I checked, I don't think Peter Thiel's a programmer, but people think he's some genius programmer because he's rich and he buys the work of actual programmers.
All right, pause
Did
it.
y'all know the two men who actually?
I mean, she's kind of right there. I mean, I had to just take a look at the Biden family. They're rich,
right.
Not that smart.
Smart enough to get away with it.
Yeah. Well, it's all not about how smart you are, but who's willing to fucking cover for you.
Yeah.
She invented Tesla. There's two other white dudes invented Tesla. They're geniuses. Elon just bought it. And now people think, he's a genius. No, he's not.
It made it
They're
viable.
actually inventing a competitor to the Tesla truck, which is, I guarantee you, going to be superior to the Tesla truck. The Tesla truck is, from what I understand, the first truck Elon Musk actually designed, and it looks like shit. And it's very bad. It's broken. It's easy to rip it apart.
That's true. Rivian
Teslas are terrible
is really,
since he's taken.
Eating Tesla's lunch with the dozens of trucks they sell a year.
Well, and pretty much what Elon has done is basically made it to where they have to everybody has to come to him for the batteries.
Well, that's the other thing. Regardless, even if it's not the batteries, they are all adopting the Tesla proprietary charging ports.
Right.
So they can use, because what Elon was smart about, and this is where Joy Reid is functionally retarded, is that he knew the thing that would make electric vehicles adoptable in mass was having a charger network. And so he spent a lot of the time building the Tesla supercharger network. And what he initially did was made it free for people who were buying Teslas to be able to use those charging networks. And then eventually, once the infrastructure was in place and they were, selling enough, now the superchargers are charging cost for using them. And because those were the most common charging, ports available, Ford and GM both had to drop their proprietary charging systems and they are now paying a fucking royalty fee on every electric car they sell to use Tesla's proprietary charging ports. And then Tesla will make the money on every Ford electric car and every GM electric car, because they will be going to the Tesla supercharging stations. Like, I mean, the Sheets by me has a whole row of Tesla superchargers, because, you know, Tesla went in and made a deal with Sheets to say, hey, we will pay to build, you know, in that back row of parking spaces that don't get used very often at your Sheets, we're going to put in 5 or 6 Tesla superchargers, you know, to be able to put us on the supercharging network. You know who didn't do that? Ford. Ford didn't go and make deals with gas stations to put charging stations in. It you know, and it sounds like in hindsight, it's like, wow, he really didn't do anything super special. He wasn't a genius to figure it out. But the thing that makes, you know, business guys really successful isn't that they are the ones who, you know, like Steve Jobs didn't build the fucking iPhone.
No,
Steve
I mean,
Jobs was the guy
that
he was the visionary that drove it
to do it.
Yeah,
Wozniak was the guy who basically built the first Apple computer. But I mean, but Jobs was the visionary. He was the guy with the plan.
Exactly. So that, I mean, when Rockefeller made Standard Oil find a use for gasoline, it wasn't because he knew what fucking gasoline was going to be good for. It was a waste product from when they made kerosene. And he was like, I'm tired of dumping this into the river because we make thousands of gallons a day of this. Find a use for it so we can sell it. And then somebody at their place was like, there's an engine that can run on that. The internal combustion engine. He's like, fucking demo it at the World's Fair. Let's get people buying this thing. And now we use gasoline and everything. And it wasn't because Rockefeller was the guy who knew what to do with it. It was because he's the visionary. So when she's talking shit about like why, like there's lots of situations where you might have somebody who's really smart and can do things, but they don't know how to execute a vision. That is something admirable. You know what Elon does is he understands enough of the conceptual and is smart enough that he can get people like to do the goal. Like when he did SpaceX, everybody said he was retarded. They're like, there's no way you can make a private business that will be profitable. It's launching things into space. You can't make reusable rockets. You can't land, rocket boosters to reuse them, which is the thing that makes SpaceX actually really profitable, because because
you don't just automatically lose the ship.
Rocket boosters were single use. We would build these massive rocket boosters and they would be gone. Once you could reuse them, oh my God, it makes it so much more cost effective.
Well, the one thing I thought was funny is somebody made this comment of, Elon, rockets aren't supposed to be in the ocean. It's like, do you not understand? Like, that's where NASA has recovered capsules from.
Down. They always splash down in the ocean. No, it makes sense. Why don't we just let them drop into major
fucking ground
residential areas?
Yeah,
that's a good idea. You remember that time the Saturn V just landed in Orlando? It worked out really, really well. No, it's always splashed down in the ocean.
Remember when the Challenger did?
Yeah.
Oh, too soon, Brahma. Too soon. That was only 38 years ago. Was it 88 or 87?
I don't remember which year.
When I say it's 87, but
I remember it was because it was a teacher.
They had it on all the TVs.
They wheeled those giant carts in with the TVs that had the strap on top to keep them like down, and they plug it in.
86 actually.
Oh, 86. So 40 years ago. Oh.
And it's still too soon? She's only got 5 seconds left. Let's finish so I can get her off the screen.
It was a great company when it was owned by the other guys, the guys who actually invented Teslas.
No, that was it.
Yep.
She's fucking retarded.
This reminds me of the guy who actually invented Windows, who got really mad that he sold it to Bill
Microsoft
Gates.
Windows?
Yeah,
Okay.
he sold it to Bill Gates for like $3,000. And he sold it to Bill Gates for like $3,000 because it was a completed operating system, Windows 3.1.
Mm-hmm.
And or DOS, whatever. No, DOS before.
No, yeah, it was DOS.
It was DOS. He sold DOS for like $3,000 because he was just a solo programmer and he didn't like. This is in the '80s. That was a decent amount of money, and because he was not a visionary and did not understand how profitable that would be. And what happens is Bill Gates turns around and gives it to IBM and says, "I will give you this operating system for free." And I want a royalty on each machine that gets sold. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. And next thing you know, Microsoft becomes the #1 operating system, not because DOS was the best operating system, because it was the cheapest for a business. Like if you were
the most readily available to mass produce.
Because IBM also allowed clones. They eventually did. They cloned IBMs, and so Gates allowed them all to use DOS again for free. You could install it, and they just got a piece of the royalties on selling the machines. And then it becomes dominant. And then they do 3.1, and then they do 95, and it's everywhere and becomes ubiquitous. And the reason why Apple was light years ahead in terms of building personal PCs, but they didn't allow cloning.
Yeah.
And so
they did briefly, and then when that was after Jobs left. When
they had already lost the race at that point.
Yeah,
because IBM and the PCs had already taken over. That's when I think it was the Apple IIs where they started allowing the Apple II to be cloned, with Wozniak doing it. And that's when they brought in the guy who ran Pepsi, and his idea was the fucking Newton.
The Newton.
Which, by the way, I'll be honest, was really ahead of its time.
It was actually.
It was actually really, really ahead of its time.
It gets a lot of shit, but
it was actually, for what it was at the time, really good. Their laptops were also much more ahead of their time than the original IBM laptops. Doesn't matter because it's not what's always better, it's what's available. It's like VHS versus Beta.
Yeah.
Betamax was the higher end, better format, but everybody got VCRs. So,
yep.
I guess we should probably cover the other thing that happened today with the In-N-Out shooting.
Yeah, what the fuck happened there, man?
Good guy.
24-year-old kid decided to go to the In-N-Out, and I guess he shot a total of 3 people. I think 1 died. I'm not sure.
I heard 3 died and there's 7 other injured.
Well, it ended very quickly because a good guy with a gun happened to be there and took him out very early into it.
Are they already shitting on the dude?
On the dude who stopped it?
Yeah.
Turns out he was a off-duty cop. So he shot, or he started the return fire, and then a few minutes later, another cop that was on duty arrived and finished the deal, I guess. So I just don't know enough about it to have really done a segment on it tonight. I did see a video that looked unfortunate. Speaking of Teslas and Elon and genius, they probably need to figure out a way in an emergency situation that you can break off of the superchargers, because the guy literally walked up to a Tesla that was on the charger. You can't do anything while you're on the charger. You can't pull away. There's no emergency unclip. You have to be outside of the car. Yeah, just popped the guy and his wife through the windshield. So that seems to be maybe a problem on the Tesla superchargers, is you may want to think about what happens in an emergency situation where you would need to get out of there.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily that different than if you're hooked onto a gas pump and you got your engine.
I can start the car and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, but you're usually standing outside. Your engine's turned off. If somebody walked up to you with a firearm, you're cooked at that point too.
You
Unless
know,
you
spray them in the face with gasoline.
That's when you spray them in the face with gas. Yeah, we've seen that happen tons of times with attempted carjackings at a gas pump. They're taking a chance when you've got
bitch, I got a lighter
that you can just toss at them.
Better start running.
I'm just saying it's a minor oversight that may need some thinking going into it on whether there's a way to be able to detach.
Bush is saying that 8 shot, 3 died. That's, yeah.
Okay.
I heard 7 wounded, 3 died, but
Does the 3 include the shooter? I can never tell if they include the shooter on these.
I think those
anymore.
are actual victims that were shot.
But yeah, they have released the name and the age. It was 24. Apparently not ethnic because we got the name, but I haven't seen the name. I've just seen that they did release it. So that
do we have people all over Twitter saying, "I hope it's a white guy that did it"?
That wouldn't surprise me. But after I got the initial work for the show done, I didn't go back on Twitter to look at anything else later.
Yeah,
today.
fair enough. It's after 11. I gotta bail, guys.
Yeah, I figured. That's why we did the last thing. So,
yep.
What do you got coming up this week?
Well, obviously streaming, but anytime I want to do a video and I announce it, I jinx myself, so I'm not going to announce anything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It
streams.
Seemed like on FNT, there were a few more people that were agreeing with some of the stuff I was saying on Spider-Man Thursday night on your stream.
Yep.
I still see a whole bunch of people just absolutely glazing it. And here's my thing. It can be a fun movie and still have major problems.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the things I pointed out was the fact that, you know, a movie can still be fun and have a lot of problems. I mean, I enjoyed the original Suicide Squad. And that's a movie that has a lot of fucking problems.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking problems that are really retarded, but there's actually some, you know, like genuinely good scenes and, you know, character moments in that movie. But the plot is fucking retarded.
Well, so I might join you tomorrow because I'm not going to be there Thursday because I'll be in Vegas for the meetup. So
Yes, you will.
Me and Culture and a couple other people. So
Yeah, I'm sad I'm missing out this year, but it is what it is.
Yep. Well, maybe we'll, I mean, is there still possibilities of doing something in San Antonio late August or September?
Well, I know that what's happening in August is not a meetup, but it's the
con.
Well, not the con, but it's the thing for Brandon Herrera.
Okay.
Where he's running for Congress.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, they're doing a fundraiser for veterans.
Right.
Nice.
And Nerdrotic is like, it's Herrera and Gary are the two featured speakers.
Yeah. And there's a lot of geeks and gamers people going to be there. I'm going to be there. So,
well, if I start a new job anytime around then down that way, I would be probably already in Texas. It might pop down.
Right on, dude. Well,
Still
when's your
waiting to
final
hear on the
interview?
next interview? I don't know. I believe I'm supposed to hear it tomorrow, but from my inside source within the company, he said, yeah, I think it'll be this week that they're giving calls to schedule the last ones. So
I'll keep my fingers crossed and say a prayer for you, man. So hopefully you got
appreciate
it.
Yeah, that's why I'm still sitting at this desk. I don't want to set everything back up for
No, I get it.
interview and swap out again. So, all right, man, we'll let you get out of here. And
Night,
we'll
folks.
probably do a little bit of after show. So
Sounds good. See you guys.
Yeah.
Later, Comics.
Thanks, Comics.
Later.
Yeah, I'm not going to be available for a full after show. I got to go in early tomorrow.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I don't know what to talk about. I don't want to talk about Spider-Man again. So
the fact that it almost made $1 billion in one weekend is pretty crazy.
It's got a very good chance of being a $2 billion movie unless people start seeing the same things I was saying. And just
by the way,
thinking,
I do win
why
because
was
the
I
Odyssey did still make over $50 million this weekend. It made 51.
Yeah.
Was it Mad that was arguing, or was it you and Matt that were arguing?
I don't think it was me, because I've always said the Odyssey was going to get to $1 billion.
Yeah, it was Mad because he was like, they're pulling all the. It was like it was like there's two movies that they're playing now. They're pulling all these other random things off, and they're going to still give Odyssey screens, and they're going to give Spider-Man screens.
No, my argument, the correct argument, is it's this Friday that the Odyssey is going to get hit
Super Troopers 2 is going to be the
Super Troopers 3 is coming out. Blockbuster of the summer. And I won't even be able to see it because I'll be in Vegas. And my wife was like, no, we are not seeing a movie while we're in Vegas. I was like, but it's Super Troopers. They've released some extended previews of it. It looks like it'll be better than 2 was, at very least. 1's a classic. But I think we talked about this all last week, so we can't do another after show on Broken Lizard. Yeah. Did anybody since last week go watch any of the Broken Lizard movies that we suggested? Because I think there are a few people who hadn't seen Beer Fest, Club Dread, or Slammin' Salmon. I don't know if Governor Linda Carter will be there, because I don't know that they're doing the... Well, yeah, I guess it is the same station.
No, I think Linda Carter's...
She's probably not going to be doing that.
Not going to be doing it.
Beer Fest is great. I don't know. What do you want to talk about? What do you guys want us to talk about?
Yeah, let's let chat lead the way.
Because if we get on movies again, then I start drinking bourbon, and then I don't remember the arguments that I'm having with Chad, because we'll argue whether we agree on the movie or not.
Yeah, like the funny thing, like
Sean
on Spider-Man,
says Linda Carter is returning as the governor.
Oh, nice. What is it? We both we weren't that far off on where we rated Spider-Man. We just disagreed on how hard we had with the flaws. I think it's clearly a flawed movie. Jean Grey especially is a problem.
We don't have spoilers up and stuff, and it's still the first weekend, and we're not typically a movie.
Whatever.
Show.
X is all over everything. Like at this point,
I'm
every
just saying,
story
don't go
is
too deep into it.
Jean Grey, Jean Grey, Jean Grey.
I actually don't have a problem with the Jean Grey thing. We knew that for months beforehand, and we had said it on multiple shows before that. Just certain plot details some people may not want to be spoiled on, because people probably will still go see this movie, regardless of any argument I have made.
I once saw...
Even my argument was, it's a fun movie. It's just got major issues that I cannot believe we are not calling out.
No, I mean, we went and saw it. My son, my wife, on Saturday, and he really liked it. My wife actually really liked it.
I have to take my daughter tomorrow, so I have to see it again.
Here's a fun. This one has actually made me laugh. This is an X post, and it's like that bro that's with you in every co-op game, and that's Tom Holland and John Barenthal in 3 different movies going hanging out together.
Well, and with Tom Holland's wife for at least 2 out of the 3.
Well, she was never... Well, I guess she had a scene maybe with Telemachus.
No, she only appeared with Odysseus.
Wasn't she next to him talking to Odysseus when Telemachus was there? Maybe. I didn't, honestly.
I don't think she ever appeared to Odysseus unless he was alone.
Well, no, she was with him when he was talking with, and she was talking with him when he was next to Penelope.
Which is still why I think she was a figment of his imagination.
Yeah, she was. Well, yeah, she was the representation of the priestess that was executed. It was his guilt. She was his guilt speaking to him.
Which one is the top movie of the year?
Like money-wise? Are we talking...
Money-wise, it's going to be Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's going to run away with it.
It'll be almost $2 billion, if not higher. which is the
Spider-Man,
best
yeah.
movie this year, is Project Hail Mary for me.
Oh yeah, I loved Hail Mary. I said I think Hail Mary is the best movie because I think Ryan Gosling gave a great performance, and it was also uplifting. Amaze. I think for me the most fun summer movie, I said it on Friday, was Masters of the Universe. It was the most fun. Spider-Man is good, but it's not. It has a lot of flaws, a lot of issues. But it's gonna
Super Troopers 3 will be the best summer movie.
We hope so. I did see the new scene they released of the syrup bukkake, which is funny.
And months ago we had seen the Cobra scene.
Yeah.
But then did you see the full 10-minute preview where the short and wide condoms?
No,
with Farva?
No. Is it good?
Oh yeah, Ramathorn. So Farva is over there just banging Ramathorn's sister. Somebody knocks on the door, and it's a delivery guy, and he's delivering Farva some short and wide condoms. Farva's wearing Ramathorn's Free Mustache Rides shirt, and he's like, "You're wearing my shirt," and he's like, "Yeah, it's a great sex shirt." Then he walks over to the fridge, and he pulls out Ramathorn's last beer. And he's like, "You can't drink my last beer." And he's like, "Oh, it's not for drinking. I got some Indian burn." And puts the cold beer down between his legs on his nuts. And hilarity ensues. But I'm hoping we're not seeing the only funny parts of the movie, because that's what happened with Quasi. But I think Quasi was directed by the guy who plays Farva, and I tend to like their stuff better when it's directed by Jay, which this one is, who plays Ramathorn. You know what we didn't talk about last week from them? Did you ever watch Tacoma FD? The TV series?
Yeah, I did.
It was so good. That was some of their best stuff. Plus the blonde is hot as hell.
Yeah, she was
also in Yellowstone. She was one of the chicks that got kicked out of the bunks because there was problems in the Yellowstone bunks because there were women mixing in.
Yeah, I mean, that show was pretty funny.
Sean, Slam and Salmon 2, and maybe I'll get excited. I don't think they can. That one had, was it Ving Rhames or was it Michael Clark Duncan? I can never remember which one is playing the owner in that. I think it's Michael Clark Duncan, and isn't he dead?
Yeah, he's definitely passed away.
Yeah. Probably from having to live with Omarosa for so long.
No, it's still waiting for Beer Fest
Just replace him. Yeah. Get Ving Rhames.
He's done with Mission Impossible, so he's probably available.
Yeah. He looked pretty old in that last Mission Impossible.
Ving Rhames?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, they killed him off, though, so he's out.
So,
anymore?
Huh?
Beer Fest 2, Revenge of the Germans? No.
Beer Fest 2 is actually supposed to be Willie Nelson and them with weed.
Yeah, weed, yeah.
That was what they teased at the end of Beer Fest.
But then it got legalized everywhere, so there was no point.
Well, beer's legal, and they made a movie about over partaking and doing games around beer.
Well, that was because they had to help Gam Gam, who was a whore.
She was a whore.
Gam Gam's a whore.
A whore, a slut for money. Good stuff. That and her warming the sausages. She's dead too. So you wouldn't have her for Beer Fest too. Cloris Leachman.
Oh.
I don't know who you replace her with.
Oh, I think they can just have Gam Gam have passed on. Or they get a new version of her and just say Gam Gam told them all about those guys, so they can just call
Right.
her Gam Gam and pretend like nothing else happened.
That only works when they look exactly the same, though. You know who had a great role in that movie? Sutherland.
Yeah.
Playing the grandfather.
Was that who played him?
Yeah. And he had the little doll, Bobo. The ventriloquist dummy. Cloris Leachman replaced by Ann Coulter.
Oh, wait, I have a picture of a new Lego set for you, given our conversation.
Okay. All heads.
Yep.
So I went down a crazy rabbit hole last night, which was because I had gone down another rabbit hole a few nights ago. So somehow I got onto Australian dude that goes and wrangles snakes that are in people's yards, like highly venomous snakes. And so then all of a sudden my algorithm is like, oh, you must want to see Australians doing regular jobs. So last night I get a video and it's an Australian dude that just clears drains using like a water jet to clear out clogged drains. The thing is, dude's actually pretty funny. All the videos follow the exact same, style. Same music, same words written at the bottom of the screen while he's doing all this stuff. But every now and then he'll bring out his, camera that goes up the pipes and stuff. And one of the funniest things, he's like, you'll get a sewage backup and he'll be like, look at all this sweet corn. And you just see pieces of corn floating through the water everywhere in the sewage. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't digest for me either. So, but it's like video after video of just, corn floating through the water while he's trying to clear out the blockage. And I watched probably 4 hours of it last night.
Yeah, I like, every few months I have a new YouTube rabbit hole I fall down into. 6 months back, I have no idea how I started watching it, but there's people who stream like cleaning up overgrown yards.
Oh yeah.
And I swear to God, it was like,
will go do it for free.
Yeah, it was hypnotizing watching them like power wash and clean up, and then seeing the reveal of like sidewalks appearing where there was nothing.
And it's usually like some 90-year-old woman's house who can't do it.
Well, my favorite one, because this was so true of like pointing out how stupid government is, it was a woman who had who was getting a daily fine from the city for her yard. And so this guy was going to clean it up for free, and the police came to stop him because the only way she was going to be able to do it is if she used like the city provided vendor that they were going to charge her for to come and do it. And, and he was like, I'm right here, I'm doing this. And he's like, you're not allowed to. He's like, but you're fining her every day it's not done. And the cop was like, correct. He's like, so if I leave and don't do this, she keeps getting a fine. He's like, yep. But if I stay and clean it up the way you want, she's going to get fined more. And he's like, yes.
And if I'm doing it for free for my friend, this old lady, what are you going to do about it? Because the only reason that they could possibly do something about it is if he was charging her a fee to do it.
Yeah, so what he did is he just waited till the cop left, and then he just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
well,
again,
they have plenty of those with the HOA. The HOA president
Yeah.
coming and throwing a fit too.
Again, by the way, this is my continued rant on why I started losing respect for police officers.
Yeah.
Because we've had a lot of it definitely seems like there's a lot more people who are A-okay and willing to do that shit than stand up for constitutional rights and the right thing.
Sure,
Now,
but you get into a sticky situation there because that is their job that they're trying to keep to feed their family. And like we talked about earlier, you were forced to do something that you didn't want to do to keep your job and take care of your family.
Yeah.
Not the same situation, but kinda. Because nobody knew what anybody was going to be doing during the we got a check for $3,400 from the government per person, and I was like, okay, survive off of this for the next year. Which I bought bourbon. That's where I started my collection, was with the $3,400 that they sent from the government. Because I was still working during the whole thing, because what did they call us? What was the term for people who were still working?
Essential workers?
Essential, yeah.
You are essential to the war effort.
Yes.
You was not able to take them off.
Fun times.
Yeah, so another YouTube rabbit hole I've gone into recently, because I find it something entertaining to just have on while I'm working my spreadsheets, is alternate like fan fiction of different franchises. Number one, because the ones for Game of Thrones end so much better than what what was there. Right. So it's entertaining for that. But the other one I've found I listened to a couple of Harry Potter ones that I thought looked the concept sounded entertaining. One of them was if Uncle Vernon actually cared about Harry, and it was good because he ends up like just shooting the shit out of wizards with a shotgun. And I'm like, because in my head, I'm constantly thinking like, in Harry Potter, I was like, why don't the regular like Muggle wizards just have some guns? I feel like like you shoot a little spell at them and they're dodging the spell, then you just shoot them with a gun. Like, it seems like for some reason,
Chronicles of Riddick, one person does one attack and then they run into the the knife at the other end of the dodge.
Because look, like the Wizarding World apparently decided to stop in like 1652 in terms of development of their culture. They're like the fucking
they're the Amish
they're the Amish. The only thing where they apparently decided to modify stuff was plumbing, where somehow, if you watch Harry Potter, where the Chamber of Secrets was built into like a 1940s toilet, and even though it was built like in 1080s, doesn't make sense. Whatever. It's like, but if I was like, I'm starting to think like, man, if I'm like one of these wizards that was worried about like the Voldemort pureblood people, I'm constantly going to be strapped. And when I'm using my wand and they're distracted, I'm just spraying 9mm bullets at them and seeing how good they are at blocking that. Because it seems like they don't do that. It's like, why? Or like, Lord Voldemort's such a big problem. Have somebody with a Barrett, like, lined up 300-400 yards away where they're not even paying attention, and you won't even hear the shot till it's already through headshot.
Or just use some freaking dynamite.
Yeah. You're a bullet wizard, Harry. And I just, abracablam. That's oh, that was a good one. Yeah, because in the fan fiction, it was funny because they were like the bad wizards invaded his house, and they're like looking at this thing, and he's like, and the guy was like, "You already shot that. You won't be. You're out of," because to them it's a black powder gun, and he's like, he just like double barrels this guy right in the face. And then like the news spreads and they're like, what do you mean these muggles have guns? It takes them 20, 30 minutes, like to reload. And then some of the other like people are like, have you seen what they have? Do you not even know about machine guns or missiles or all this stuff? They will kill you. So,
yeah, the wizards would not last against the muggles if there was an actual issue.
Yeah, there was one where it was because again, it's a rabbit hole. I started listening to a couple. There was another where Harry Potter and Voldemort were actually arguing in front of people about like the Muggles, and he's like, "Do you know the shit they have? Have you ever heard of a nuclear weapon? If you wrong them, they will just annihilate you. They can destroy whole cities." And all the bad wizards are like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, do you not know?" Like, are you that batshit crazy that you think that these things don't exist and because they're so not paying attention? It's a big how do I put it? It's a big glaring plot hole within the Harry Potter universe that these wizards are so checked out that they're apparently have no knowledge. Like, because if you remember, they're like, "What is this?" And they're like, "It's a blender," and they have no idea what these things are.
Yeah, it's like in The Little Mermaid, or they're just making up what a fork is for.
Yeah, so there's a story arc, Fables, when Big Bad Wolf. Yeah, so this is because Fables is by the way, it's done by a base creator, Bill Willingham, where when he's explaining the fairy tale people, like, if you invade America, they have lots and lots of guns. They will just kill you. You are not going to win. You think you have magic, and by the time you as you're casting a spell, they will just shoot you in the head. You're not like gonna win this one.
Keep talking. I'm gonna add some scenery.
Yeah, because they're just in their head that it's just like they're still using swords and black powder.
Is the audio coming through?
Yeah, I'm hearing the audio.
Sorry, let me fix that.
Oh.
There.
Yeah, we're just. You're all right. I see where you're getting at with this one, Brahma.
I mean, the AI made her look more like a actual human than the AI girls that that we used for our stuff, but they didn't use the right prompts for the upper. And now it's just frozen and spinning. Whatever. You may proceed. Why does it go when you take it off of full screen and then stop?
This is Evie Mux. This sounds like any.
No, this is why I always download everything that we play, and it takes me so long to bring it up because it'd be real easy to just share Twitter at all times, but half the time it freezes up. Yeah. Hey, Mad, you're a little bit late for your co-hosting duties.
Mad just showed up?
Yeah. You guys should watch those AI hot Klingon sister videos. They're hilariously awful.
Hold on, Mad needs to know because we were arguing. The Odyssey made over 50 million. I win our bet, so just deal with it.
Remember that.
He's gonna pretend he doesn't remember.
You're gonna have to go back and clip Friday and show it to him before he'll admit that that bet was made.
You remember? I don't share our DMs. Here's a message admitting you shared our DMs. Who sent that? You did?
What are some other rabbit holes I've gone down? There's been a lot of them. People building weird shelters in the middle of the forest. Like digging down holes, making a pool, and making a cave for themselves to live in.
Like, I've seen those ones too. Also, where people decide to like make hidden rooms in their house.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I sort of want.
I kind of want to do the under the stairs office, where you just all that unused space under the stairs, you just make like a rounded seat,
basically a cockpit where you're.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe
That'd
you
be
can
cool.
do that in your new location if that happens.
Well, I'm hoping to have an outdoor like kitchen anywhere that I'm going to go there and probably do the behind the bar thing, but in the outdoor kitchen with a little bit of lighting, because it's kind of nice in the evening in Texas.
Have you gotten giggly messages yet?
No.
He has consumed a gummy.
A little bit too much QQ&D.
Your words are effing with my head.
Okay.
I don't know.
I thought Mad gave up gummies because they tried to kill him. But now he's had multiple gummies since he said that he gave up gummies because they tried to kill him.
I never believed he actually gave up the gummies. I think he just tried to use Shredder to keep him from messaging or calling you when he had consumed too many of the gummies.
So I just saw a new clip that came out from the Oxford Student Union. Muslim student Arwa El Reyes argues before the Oxford Student Union that the West should have no suspicion of Islam because Islamic extremist terrorists aren't really Muslim, even though they behead and murder people while screaming Allahu Akbar. So her argument is the less devout you are, the more likely you are to be Muslim. Where in reality, the more devout you are, the more likely you are to be the Muslims that will actually kill everybody. But she thinks, no, less devout Muslims are the actual Muslims. We don't kill people. It's kind of like the joke Aaron Wexler told in the clip we played earlier today. Or earlier tonight. Which is probably going to get us hit, I would assume.
You think?
Probably. We played through pretty much the whole joke without really pausing much at all.
Is there... Well, I mean, I guess there might be a copyright claim on it.
Could be. I don't know.
It was done as a short, it looked like, though.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the things I just popped off of Twitter. But it was probably originally from TikTok. But we don't really have a topic tonight, and we've already got an extra 40 minutes, so you've got to get up. I've got hopefully an interview in the next couple days, so I need to get some sleep. So I think we may call it there, everybody. But you know what you can do? You guys could go and put comments after the show anytime during the week of what you would like us to talk about for the after show next week. And you can also do these things.
Please like and subscribe to the Bullpen.
Yeah. But definitely give us the like, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and leave comments, because everything, like I said, I've been using some of the backstage stuff, trying to figure out a way to get a little bit more growth. We have jumped up another like 10 subs because I made an appearance on DA's show earlier this week, and everybody was really happy with Spider-Man until I came in and started talking about it, and then there were a whole bunch of people in chat that were like, actually, I agree with this guy, whoever the hell he is. So I got a few subs there. But yeah, one of the things YouTube keeps saying is I'm not hitting the algorithm because I've got a ridiculous amount of views for my size channel and a ridiculous length of people staying to watch the show. But there's not enough interaction from people after the show, even though we've got tons of chat going on during the show. It's weird. I don't know. Do something if you can. If you don't, no big deal. We'd appreciate it. That was Haley Atwell. Toback.
Yep.
So, what do you got coming up, Chad?
Seminar podcast, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. because I will be going to see Super Troopers 3. So we'll be talking about that. I'm sure Brahma will use his methods to try to consume that content himself. So we'll probably have reviews.
I won't be around.
Oh, that's right. You're doing your thing. Well, then
yeah,
it
I'm
will
in
just
Vegas.
be. That's right. And
I'm the only one who actually cares about the movie, from what I can tell.
Mad may or may not be there. I think 70s was supposed to have his trivia ready, and I've gotten word from Slender that his Nick Cage bracket is about locked in, so we'll probably start that, when you're back, because he's got this idea, and I like it a lot, where we're going to start with a Nick Cage one, we'll do like other actors, and then once we get enough of we're going to make a best like of each one, like us seating a bracket where it's like Nick Cage's winner against Jeff Bridges' winner, which is clearly going to be Big Lebowski. There would be
or Blown Away.
It's like, no, it's Big Lebowski. I mean, say what you will, at least that movie has an ethos.
Say what you want about the tenets of National Socialism, at least it's an ethos. Also, I'm not sure about amphibious rodents. Eric actually did suggest a topic. Sadie Sink, hot or not?
I mean, she's attractive. She's not like.
I'd say she's okay looking. I don't find her attractive. Not even girl next door type of attractive. But she's definitely not like superhero Jean Grey hot, having Wolverine and Cyclops fight over you.
I would think. I mean, she's an attractive girl. I think she does herself no favors with some of like her hairstyling she's done of late, especially like the short pixie cut. She's not built for the pixie cut.
Mike says it about right. She's cute.
She's like in her.
She also still looks like a 14-year-old at 24.
Yeah, because
that's the real problem there.
There's specifically a sequence in this movie where the person she's acting against is only 16. And
she's supposed to be the older sister to Sadie Sink, and Sadie Sink is 24.
Yeah, I wasn't going to give the spoiler since you warned me about that earlier, but
we're in the after show. These people have all heard me talk about the movie already. That are
not to mention, as my wife has pointed out with my comments regarding Bryce Dallas Howard, I have a type, and Sadie Sink is not built like that, and so. I prefer women who look more womanly. A Sweeney-ish build.
Or a Haley Atwell. Or Jennifer
a Haley
Connelly,
Atwell build.
Or... yeah.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with... That's why I say she's... I can objectively say she's an attractive... Like, she's not ugly. She's an attractive... girl. If I was that age and I was and somehow I knew Sadie Sink, I would not have an issue like trying to date her if I was age appropriate and knew her. But it's not like when we're evaluating Hollywood women and how attractive they are, she's not where I would. Again, Brahma nailed it right. I would say like a Haley Atwell it would be far superior in my estimation than a Sadie Sink.
Or Jennifer Connelly through her whole life.
Soul Assassin, it's not just like that. I mean, I want to have, again, a womanly body, and Sadie Sink is a little...
Curves.
Yeah, she's a little tomboyish build, which is not where I'm at. Like, Bryce Dallas Howard doesn't have, like, the biggest upper body assets, but she's got some curviness that's efficient.
Tobach brings in the greatest edit ever. You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps? Big Lebowski's greatest edit.
Did you ever go back and watch like the clips of the Goodfellas TV edit?
No.
Oh, It's amazing what they had to try to use to dub in all the cursing. You should check that out because it's so stupid. Where it's like this tree, this fake tree over here. It's just like, what are you like?
I used to like when you would occasionally get, instead of son of a bitch, son of a biscuit eater. But I think the greatest edit ever was Big Lebowski with the stranger in the Alps.
Yeah. They did, yeah.
Donnie, were you listening to the dude's story?
It's like you're out of
like
your
a
element.
child. You just wander into a conversation.
You're out of your element now. There was one of my favorite Mad TV sketches they ever did where it was like the Sopranos was being sent to regular broadcast television and they were editing out all the cursing or nudity, and it was like, tune in next week and it was like for 2 minutes and 27 seconds of the Sopranos. It was like, they would be like the Tony Soprano guy, you freaking, and then it was a whole different scene, and then it was, as soon as someone started talking, it was just jumping scenes because they had to edit so much out of it.
Right.
Freaking was all over the TV edits.
Do you think they'd hit us for playing an ancient MTV show? Well, no, it's on Paramount Plus now, so I think they probably would hit us if we played like a few minutes of a skit. I can't remember if I've asked you this before. I probably have. Do you remember The State?
Hell yeah, it's on Paramount Plus if anybody wants to watch it, because it was an MTV sketch comedy show, which it turned into, basically it was all the guys who ended up doing Reno 911 and Party Down and a lot of those other ones.
Yeah. My favorite was the Doug skits. I'm out of here. It was hilarious. It was like Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall was much better, but Michael Ian Black was part of The State. There were a lot of guys who blew up a lot later.
Do you remember on The State the sketch where it was like, I want to dip my balls? It made me laugh. You should look for that one.
Do you remember the one about Cindy Crawford?
I think I do.
Cindy Crawford's actually an otter. If she could shave her mole, she would take her natural form again. There's some weird stuff in there, but that was kind of like Kids in the Hall. Weird stuff. There were one of the guys that was in that was also the guy that no, it's not him. I was thinking it was one of the guys from Super Troopers. Not one of the main guys, but one of the side guys, but I don't think it is him. Never mind. All right, we were going to end 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And then we kept going, so.
It's all right. They get a little bit of bonus action.
Yep. So after going and seeing the movie again tomorrow, I may join Comix for part of the show. And I will be there Tuesday. But after that, I am not back until Monday. So Chad is going to do the show with our other co-hosts, Comix and maybe Mad. And I'll probably be checking in from chat because I will have just landed when the show starts. And I might even make a portion of the show. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll just get me in for the after show. If you guys go the normal time, that should be plenty of time for me to get back. So, but I hope everybody has a great week.
We got you covered.
Cool. Hope everybody has a great week. Thank you for the membership gifts and thank you for the super chats. We will catch you throughout the week and back here next week. And
bye.
Maybe I'll see some of you guys at the meetup. I don't know. Later, everybody.
Later.